a liar.
I'll try not to interrupt you like an asshole again.
Yeah, same.
Hello! Well, we've been live for like 15 seconds at this point, so you know.
Shit!
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another session of Pathfinder 2nd Edition. My name is Jake, and I'll be the DM tonight. If you're new here, you'll learn the names pretty fucking quick, probably.
If you're not new here, I'll be the DM. Wait, that's how it works, right?
I think you have to kill him to take his position.
Yeah, it might be Highlander rules.
Hold on, where's my knife?
Hold on, guys. We'll be right back. We're gonna go drive there right now.
Be only one.
Just Meat Hook starts playing from Doom Eternal.
Right. No, you fucking...
Test one.
Hey!
There you are.
Sick.
I'd just be at the door with a couple of drinks. Just, hey guys, thanks for showing up. He's in the study.
All right, sick. Let's do this.
Where's my candlestick? I'm gonna clue him.
Yeah. No, it's just hi. I'm Sherry. If you need any help, my name is Shelly. Okay, and if I don't need help, what do I call you?
Meat.
That bitch over there.
I just need to get this out of my system, and I don't expect most of you to get it. But when, Jake was saying he wanted to start up at 6 o'clock so he wouldn't be a liar, the thought that came into my head is, yeah, you wouldn't want to string people along.
Okay, come on.
Thank you, TJ.
Oh, yep, okay.
There it goes.
Yeah, and Dustin's done.
Understandable. Have a nice evening.
Oh man, that one hurt me.
Like I said, I figured either people wouldn't get it or it would take them a little while, but I think TJ realizing it might have set off the chain reaction.
Yup.
I think it took me all of a half second, and then it was just like.
So last
that was
session
a good one.
was fairly eventful.
Quite.
You
Yeah.
guys returned to the Roseway Tavern. Good job, you spilled that. You had encountered a new member of the Knights of Krell and killed the fuck out of him in a back alley fight. Pax coming in handy with fucking assist for Lorenz.
Goddamn Armagh.
Get that.
He didn't need it.
He wasn't using it anymore.
Well, not anymore.
After that, Aslan and Anya had a very, very touching goodbye.
Not an inaccurate statement.
But I found it funny. It was a good joke.
And from there, everyone...
See Dan kind of waffling on that one now.
But is it blue?
You should not.
Please. And assist.
You shut the fuck up right now.
No, hold on. You're not marked 18 plus, are you?
What?
Your stream isn't marked 18 plus, is it?
Probably not.
The mods.
You know.
All right, delete the VOD, everybody.
No, God.
To stay here.
Then after that, everyone left the Devarian capital city to seek out Fef's clan and wherever the hell they were making their rest. After it took a few days to kind of track them down, but eventually they did find the burrow that Clan Fefwalla was or Walla Fef, depending on who you ask, was using as a home. And then they began to meet several of Fef's relatives, mostly cousins, of various types removed. And then everyone got to meet a very familiar face. Not to the characters, but definitely to the players. As they met Father Fef, who remembered them.
Yeah, that was a moment.
Yes. The party was then kind of offered their services slash voluntold into helping out with guard duty for the night. And it wasn't long into the night before noises began to occur, and the party went into the forest, into the Tiefwald itself, right on into the Tiefwald, and discovered several of Fef's cousins being attacked by werewolves. Threats of a lycanthropic nature. I almost said lycanthropic, and that's a entirely different flavor thing. It's a flavor of high C or something. I don't know.
That is Capri Sun, sir.
Yeah.
I would fuck with lycanthropic punch.
Yeah. Not bad. Really not bad. Holy shit, man. You after engaging with the werewolves, the werewolves asked for clemency from the assault, not wanting to die any more than they already had by that point. And a potential deal, was offered to take the party deeper into the Tiefwald to potentially acquire a deal for Thef's family to some sort of integration into the Tiefwald itself. And that is where we left off, with the party being told to return in 2 days' time. And also, during the fight, Pax got bit by a werewolf.
Yeah, that's a thing to do.
So,
I forget. Did they the members of Fef's clan that had been taken off? Did they actually hand them back to us, or is that part
Yes.
of like Bill?
they
Okay.
did release them.
Okay. I wasn't sure whether they were like holding on to them until we had the talks, or if they were just releasing them then. and
Nope,
there.
they released them as a show of goodwill and
Okay.
good faith.
Gotcha.
So, we return back with you guys on the edge of the Tiefwald again. Night. It is about mid-evening, mid dead of night, I should say.
Right.
What will you do?
So last time you told us that Lorenz actually knew enough to know what was going on after Pax had been bitten. Yes?
I think
No.
so.
So, like a curse
No.
as opposed to. Oh
I
no.
hadn't gotten the chance to study you yet.
Okay.
I do have cursed lore, however, so I was going to study you. That is where we left off.
Okay.
I thought that there was like the actual like mention to the wolves about the bite, because like Paxbury, I was like, Mom's
Yes.
going to fucking kill me if I turn into a werewolf. And
yes, and one of them said something about, "Oh, we will see if one of our shamans can
Right. if we
remove
have
that."
any-
that's
material."
right. That's right.
Right.
Okay. Well, the day has been packed with enough excitement and weirdness that I think Maha's about done with the night and ready to turn in
That
on
is
his guard shift.
fair.
It was pretty late.
Even the cousins whom you have saved are. Thanks a lot. Oh, for the save. That could have been bad. Ah!
I'm just glad it didn't turn any worse than it was.
Same. And they're all kind of shaken up more than a little bit.
I don't suppose you have any set time for a changing of the guard?
No, mostly just whenever people get bored enough of sleeping, and then they come back outside, and then they switch off. But we'll probably, maybe and then they just walk off back towards the entrance to the burrow without even like finishing that thought.
I like the way they think. And Maha's they just start following.
Is there anything, knowing that our good friend Pax has been bitten by lycanthropes, can I attempt to?
You may use a curse lore check in an attempt to.
I can't fix it. That's for damn sure. But I want to be able to at least do the awkward doctor thing, where you just fill in details and hope that knowledge,
Yeah,
gives some comfort.
that's fair. Hey, not bad. So, you are aware that the curse of the werewolf, known as lycanthropy to many, instills in its carriers the hungry bloodlust and predator instincts of the wolf. Werewolves tend to dwell on the fringes of society or in small settlements where, in their humanoid forms, they work as laborers, hunters, farmers, or trappers. At night, however, these same villagers transform into violent killers and sadistic stalkers who prey on their neighbors. Although most werewolves hide their curse by adopting solitary lifestyles, some retain the pack mentality of true wolves. A small group of such werewolves typically form a family-like pack, with the eldest or most powerful serving as the leader, and new pack mates are hand-chosen and included into the family as its influence grows. However, that does not quite describe the werewolves that you met.
They were far more cognizant and
I was gonna say they seem to be able to shapeshift at will.
seemed
Almost.
quite
Yeah, like
control of it.
didn't they actually like turn into proper wolves when they
Mhm.
went back into the woods?
Yep.
They were also abducting goblins and hobgoblins to forcibly conscript them into their forces.
Well, you don't.
We're not entirely sure what they planned to do with them. They didn't say exactly what the plan was.
Yeah, they
They
could have
kind
just
of
been having them over for dinner.
I know.
Yeah, there was very much a disdain for the outsiders, but I don't know if, like, that kind of leads me to believe that, I don't think they wanted to make the outsiders in. I don't feel like that was very much the intent. It could have been, but off of what we saw from them, I don't know that that would be the case.
This could have been anything from food gathering to territory conflict to gods know what else.
I mean, a large armed force showed up next to their house unannounced.
Right. Werewolves tend to not be pretty cool with that.
Most wild creatures tend to not be cool with that.
Yeah, werewolves have the forethought to be able to do something about it, or at least these ones do.
Yes. If anyone would, by the way, like to do a recall knowledge using their society skill, for history on the Tiefwald, or what they may know of the Tiefwald. Also, don't forget to reset your hero points to 1. Society. Very nice, very nice. Okay.
Do the roll, but again, I think Maha is like, this is probably just his thoughts as he's trying to fucking lay down to sleep.
No, that's fair.
More than anything.
Maha, Aslan, and Lorenz, you guys would know that throughout your knowledge of the area of the Tiefwald, there have always been kind of ghost stories about the area something lives in the woods, and anyone who tries to go into the woods doesn't come back.
It wasn't Aslan's fault.
Hey,
Roland's fault either for a time.
and just in general, just that has kind of perpetrated throughout society and throughout history for as long as you guys can remember. So, as you head
Precision
back,
spooky shit.
yes, big spooky woods. As you head back into the clan burrow, felt a burp coming on. You head in. Everything. You are greeted by guards at the door and whatnot, and they're like, "Oh, hey, what the fuck was that?"
Trouble. It's been handled mostly. There's
Fucking great.
Are you have you been dealing with the lycanthropes on your doorstep commonly?
What?
Apologies.
Meanwhile, the other guard next to him just. Are lycanthropes nearby?
Yes, several.
Oh,
We're
Yeah.
gonna be friends, I hope.
friend.
Well, I mean, we did ask nicely for our people back, and they did say yes, and we got them, so that's a start.
I suppose it's better than nothing. Yeah.
To the end of the blade.
I mean, you look. Peace is peace, right?
Wrong. I do you have shaman? Holy people, medicine people?
Not really. The closest we have to that is Father Feth.
I really I'm not.
He makes the good red for us.
And then a fucking family recipe.
Yeah.
No, not UFEF, RFEF.
Oh.
Still yes, though.
All's the same. And I'm actually gonna just turn to the party on this one. Does anybody remember what the moon was last night?
Give me a. You know what? No, I'm not even gonna make you guys roll for it. The moon, which is still out, I will say.
Okay.
You could literally just walk outside to.
Well, then at that point, I just
Yeah.
look at the moon.
It's waxing gibbous. And I should say there are multiple moons. It is not just one moon, so they are all kind of in different like phases of their cycle. Because I think multiple moons in fantasy is just some really cool shit.
I agree.
And
I suppose.
there's no other reason. I just like it.
So I suppose that then begs a bit of a different question then with is I guess this would be something that more Lorenz would have to know about, like with curses. Is lycanthropy tied to the phases of the moon, and like is it to a specific moon or any of the moons, or how
Is
does
it
that-
just time based, basically?
right? Like, is there any way to know that?
Yeah.
Right. You could give me another curse knowledge, curse lore. To see if you know. You're not really familiar. You know a lot of curses, but not a whole lot about the specific curse of lycanthropy.
I mean, lycanthropy is a common enough subject in a lot of curse books, but it's not something he delved into individually.
Okay.
The specifics, I don't know.
Well, if there is that concern with hacks, how do we want to handle that?
I got rope.
Yes, I suppose we just keep a watchful eye, and when the time comes, try to subdue him.
Nope. Do it now.
Restrain and subdue are two different words, Pax. We restrain you now, we guard you now, and we subdue you if it comes to worse.
Suppose that is the safest bet. It's not the most ideal situation, but none of this really is.
We're long past ideal.
Yeah, we play with the deck we are given. And we hope that the lycanthropes can come through with some sort of answer. It is to be well noted, though, as you said, Maha, these werewolves seemed far more cognitive and cognizant They conversed, they shapeshifted of their own will. They stepped away from a fight. These are not the bloodthirsty creatures that the classic stories of werewolves describe.
This much is true.
So perhaps we may not even have to worry about it at all. Perhaps.
It's the only way to know is to see.
Frankly, the idea of something appearing to be something we should know about and yet defying all those expectations makes me more worried rather than less.
As it should, but that is the unfortunate part of being on the forefront of knowledge, I suppose. Never knowing because there's no way to know.
Suppose you're right.
And Lorenz, trying to be good natured about it, gives Pax a pat on the back. Welcome to the forefront of magical science, Pax. We will begin to study you as soon as we are able.
Oh, fuck. That's good.
Just Zendros furiously scribbling. Just...
There's some weird shit happened with my friend Pax today. That's fucked up.
Anywho.
Oh no! Anyway!
Right, exactly one of those things, basically. Just like,
Dear diary, this day, everything.
Just about, didn't it?
yeah.
Well,
So, you guys are actually, with Fef could lead you on more to them, but you are also given proper led to accommodations. I won't even say proper accommodations because it's
hovels.
you are led down a tunnel. And in that tunnel, you know, eventually you get to a large chamber, 200 by 300 feet. And you have been going down all the entire way down this tunnel. And it is just wall to wall, just goblins and hobgoblins sleeping, fucking cuddling, fucking sleeping across each other. Like, take how Lorenz and his siblings would sleep as children and continue to sleep, and just amplify that by 1,000.
Oh.
I'm gonna make a very unfortunate I'm gonna make a very unfortunate fucking metaphor or simile, depending. No simile. Imagine the football stadium in New Orleans after Katrina, but with a lot less horrible shit, but a lot more people crammed in. With more people crammed in, but everyone actually likes each other.
It's not due to desperation, it's due
Christ.
to population.
Yeah, again, like I said, very unfortunate metaphor, but
God.
They do paint the picture.
Yeah, no, I can see that quite clearly. And
Just a writhing mass of goblin.
Mom's just gonna kind of stop and look at this just. Oh. That's unfortunate.
Wherever we find a place to stop and sleep, Lorenz is literally going to just reach down and scoop up some goblins and dispense them on top of other goblins in order to clear himself out of space to sleep.
So that he's not crushing them under.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Zendros.
Weirdly, when you do that, like, they wake up for like a few minutes and then they're like, oh, hey, what up?
Yeah, I'm treating them like belligerent cats, is what's going on, basically.
Yeah, no, and they're completely fine with that, honestly. Like, they don't
Holy fuck.
they don't react past like, oh, whatever.
So I suppose before everyone gets settled in, I suppose we should go ahead and decide what the situation for PAX is going to be. Do we play it safe, or
Yeah, I believe playing it safe for the night is smart, not only for our peace of mind, but for friend Pax's as well.
Feed him booze until he passes out, and if he turns into anything bad, he'll wake up with a hangover, and then it'll be even easier to deal with.
There's a logic there that I don't enjoy that my brain can track down. Um, no, yes, ropes, maybe booze optional, I guess is what we're making this plan.
Yeah, Pax, how drunk do you want to be?
I don't know. Angry drunk werewolf sounds like a bad idea.
Well, that's why we have to get you, like...
Is the ideal state we're going for. No, yeah, but using ropes to secure Pax, I suppose.
Okay.
Restrained, but having spent enough time in like drunk tank tier prisons at this point from a tender young age upwards, being able to restrain somebody in a position that still lets them lay on a cot is something Lauren should be at least materially familiar with.
are we talking like fucking like sarcophagus tie, or how are we doing this?
Not quite. It's basically what would be accomplished by a set of 4-link manacles, where his hands and his feet are tied together effectively, but with lengths of rope rather than chain.
Guess who got you
Okay.
guys? By the way, a map of a close-up of the area you're going to be going into.
Hooray!
Oh, everybody brace.
I think it's like an image map, not the.
Yeah,
What, found it.
looking
Oh, okay,
Discord in a little bit. Uploading now.
Gotcha.
Also, a large.
Listen, I still love, like, when the map takes a good, like, minute and a half to load.
That's fair.
Hey. It's a strip of woods.
It is the northernmost tip. Not done to scale, by the way. Fuck's sake. I'm not able to recreate another map's image by hand and eyeballing it and make it perfect 1-to-1. But it's
even the point.
it's better than nothing.
It gets the point across.
Yes. So you guys are going to sleep after restraining Pax.
Yeah.
Okay.
And since Pax is a willing target, I feel like if we'll tie it, if we don't feel confident in the knots, we'll untie it, retie it, and so on and so forth.
Sure. Sure. Damn, there ain't no Shibari skill check.
No, Shibari is not a skill check.
No.
Crafting?
Yeah,
I was going to say, because
whoever's tying the ropes, please, whoever's tying the ropes, give me a crafting check. Also, I like how Pax has just been swearing in every language he knows.
It did it.
I'm not a good crafter.
No, it's fair.
Neither am
Lorenz
I.
is an expert in it. And by the time Lorenz is done with your bindings, Pax, you feel trussed up like a Christmas hog. I'm sorry, Winter's Feast hog. There is no Judeo-Christianity in this world.
You
Yet.
feel like you can sleep like this?
I just heard Maha say, yet.
I wasn't planning on sleeping. I was gonna stay awake the whole night, hoping that if it happened, I could warn you. And if it didn't happen, I'd just be exhausted tomorrow in case it happened then.
I'm not your mother. Right, good luck. Have fun. I'm going to go to sleep. And then, yeah, I scoop out my goblin bed. And
You scoop them out, and the goblins go, and then just immediately just re-find cuddle buddies effectively.
They're like Lincoln logs. You put them together the right way, and eventually they just rest against each other.
Yes. Also, Dave, I can literally watch you and see what you're doing.
That's the joke.jpg.
Well, you see. Yes. So you guys kind of find overall you find accommodations through your own various means. Lorenz, you awaken. Well, actually, hold on. Pax, you said you're going to be trying to stay up the entire night, right?
Yes.
Give me a fortitude check. Okay. You actually do manage to stay awake all night. Listening to a bunch of goblins snoring and farting and just sleeping chaotically. And you're pretty sure there are some goblins in here that are fucking, but you're not entirely sure where.
Well, after 2 hours, Aslan can keep him company too.
That's true. You are fatigued.
Good.
For everyone else, and Aslan, again, after 2 hours, Aslan wakes up and keeps you throughout the night. The rest of you awaken after a solid 8 hours of sleep. You are wearing a goblin blanket. You just wake up and there's just more goblins on top of you, like just all over. It's nothing suffocating, but like you are definitely being cuddled by no less than 7 goblins each, which is really impressive.
Okay,
for Maha.
for my size, that's yeah. I was gonna say that's.
But for Maha, it's probably closer to 2. But you are definitely like a big spoon to one goblin and a little spoon to another goblin. Lauren's just slowly picking goblins and hobgoblins off of him.
Zendros just shrugs. I've had worse accommodations.
Yeah,
We're
not
trying to
complaining
get
at
up.
all.
And as you guys are starting to wake up, suddenly through the tunnel here, breakfast! And just
I very hurriedly try to get the rest of the goblins off of me before they stomp on my genitals.
yeah, no, it's a every goblin in the
It's gonna be
chamber.
groggy.
I feel like Fef on reflex is already up and moving towards breakfast.
Yes, absolutely. Like Theth is just going with everyone, and all the goblins just up and in a tidal swarm of movement of blue green flesh, both at 3 feet and 5 feet tall, depending on the variety of goblin. They are just.
Ma's probably stuck more or less crowd surfing from being groggy of getting woken up.
That's fair. The taller folk can just see Maha quite literally being crowd surfed along, because they wanted to make sure that Maha, that you hear a few goblins around you go, oh, you're gonna get trampled. Hold on, whoop, and then they just throw you up into the crowd, and you're just being like passed along like a fucking beach ball at a concert.
God, I can imagine at that point Ma's face, just, you know, the meme of the guy just laying in bed with just the face. I imagine that's Maha just.
Maha wakes up to crowd surfing.
Right, Maha waking up, just oh, you're gonna get trampled. Hold on, whee, and then suddenly you're just crowd surfing. Just this is weird.
I guess we'll see him at breakfast.
This my life has gone directions.
I
have been chosen.
The claw.
That's Maha right now.
The rest of you, after untying Pax, who is looking very fucking tired, at this point, you untie him, and you begin to make your way towards the dining hall that you were first greeted in. And again, it's just hundreds of goblins and hobgoblins just around at long tables, eating, noisily and messily. But it's also a genuinely good food. Like, it's not your Gordon Ramsay type stuff. And it is definitely not Lawrence's mother's cooking. But it's better than you would expect for being in a fucking borough, literally hundreds of miles anywhere from society proper.
Hey TJ, you remember when I cooked and it always ended up just termed slop?
Yeah, but it was delicious slop every time.
That's what we're doing, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 3 in the morning.
Yeah, you don't want to ask what's in it, but it tastes good.
I remember 3 in the morning curry was of nondescript shade of brown, and so was the rice, but it was all delicious.
I truly don't even remember what went into that, for the record.
The mystery meat.
I don't remember eating it. I just remember that it was delicious.
Oh my god. Oh, this is sounding like a fever dream.
It felt like it.
That's why I don't cook.
It's why you don't cook until the eldritch hours of the morning.
You guys are given breakfast. You're eating and whatnot, and no! Suddenly, just a hog on over, just boom. So, your last night's watch shift was really exciting.
Exciting's a word for it.
Yeah. So, like, and then he just leans away and just starts eating again.
That. I just stare that it's about like he starts to open his mouth. just it's like, are you gonna? Never mind. Just
Being able
going
to
back to
fucking,
his slop.
being able to effectively be an entire warren of hobgoblins and goblins is literally just letting out every ADHD thought I have that ever occurs in my fucking brain, and have
To
not
go
needing to
full
justify it.
gremlin.
Right, I don't
Right,
need to justify
Like,
shit. What?
It's got cathartic as hell.
Oh yeah, you kidding? Plus, I get to do fucking high pitched, annoying-ish voices. It's fucking great.
Therapy doesn't do this.
This is so much better than therapy.
Repress it.
No, repress it. Ba-na-na-na-na. Oh god, love that video.
Apathetic to book myself therapy.
Yeah.
Uh,
And at one point, you're not entirely sure when, but you notice Father Fef has stepped up behind you. Yes, so I hear that there's a diplomatic meeting planned.
Oz literally just going to completely like freeze like statue still as soon as he starts.
Oh yeah,
speaking.
looms
Just,
the fuck out of the shadows. Just so. Waya.
Diablo, Lord of these balls.
Yep.
Suck on these Roderick nuts.
Hell, Lord of bitches.
We can do far too much with our. Leia! Why do you pronounce your name like a dipshit?
It's clearly spelled Leah. There's no I there at all.
It seems that we are going to be negotiating with the werewolves.
Yes, I heard that. It's very interesting. Or, if I recall correctly, a new home? He leans down real close.
Yeah, also the well-being of our friend. Hopefully.
Yes. I looked into it. There is no shaman or otherwise here that can heal your poor friend Pax from his ailment.
Fortunate, but
Wait.
expected.
we didn't tell anybody else about what. No,
Oh.
just
No.
like on mentioning Pazio, I was like, how did? Never mind.
Oh, don't worry. Zelgin would have known.
I don't like it.
just who? Again, never mind.
You're learning. Bring me 1 2, please.
I don't think I am,
No, you're not.
and I'm not sure I want to.
That's fair. How many callbacks can I do as a character? You didn't hear that. So
I don't know what any of that means, but can you give me a healing potion? Still missing a chunk of shoulder.
oh, right, and of course natural healing would have taken place for anyone who's injured.
Except for me, because I didn't sleep.
Yeah, except for Pax, because he... Oh, yes, of course. Yeah. And he, yeah. Pulls out a, from the shadows that are his body, he just pulls out a vial of red liquid. 1 fresh produced vial of the good red. From the source.
Going to be my headcanon now that the good red is sold in big red cans.
Delicious.
With like the giant monster cans, they come with those same kind of lids. The ones that pop when you open them for the first time.
Yeah. Also, Pax, that is a healing potion moderate. If you drink it now, you can get back 3d8 plus 10 health points.
Okay, so
3d8 plus 10. You heal for 22 points of damage, and as you drink it, you can feel the actual bite that had started to, like, gotten a little gnarly, especially from, like, being tied up all night, just, like, knits together. And it's not a pleasant experience as it knits together, but it is, like, when it's done, the flesh afterwards is healed. It looks like the kind of healing that happened, like someone accelerated the healing on your shoulder by like 6 months.
Aches more than it hurts, and that's kind of the healing process.
Right, and it's kind of scarred, formerly scabbed up and whatnot. Oh my god, the good red is in fact a Fago bottle.
Go red pop.
Whoop whoop.
Yes.
We're here to keep the 90s alive.
Down to clown till I'm dead in the ground. Anyway.
Also, we breathe fire.
Well, guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. I believe it is tomorrow evening. What all happens?
Yes.
Will you be going alone, or would you be wanting some of the others of the clan to go with you?
Would be wise for some of your clan members, those in good standing, to come with us, considering this is still diplomacy on parts of the clan. As much as we have a representative of Clan Fefwalla with us, a more permanent resident of your borough might be a little more appropriate.
Perhaps, perhaps. And then the shadows around Father Fef seem to morph, and suddenly, right before you, on the table, is a starry-eyed raven. I could always go with you if you'd like.
Immediately just like curious, head tilt, staring at this bird.
It took the others quite a while to get used to me, too. They never did, though.
I'm not getting used to you so much as trying to figure out what you are.
Ah.
I don't
question
think we
for the
wanna know that
ages.
either. We think we do, but we don't.
Exactly. Also, Zindrasser will say at this point you probably have lost your temporary HP.
Yeah, I took that off already.
Gotcha.
I think he's just got the icon on him now.
Oh yeah, that was drained from
Ye-
your curse.
Yes, correct.
Which is also faded. Zindros looking much healthier.
More like an alive person.
Yes. No, I shouldn't go with you. I would probably just be littered with spoilers.
The hell is a spoiler?
You know when you're reading a good book and someone tells you what happens at the end?
Yes, I would hate that.
Yes. Yes. The threads of fate for you are very interesting, young Loren.
I'm sure. Luckily, we're not here from here. We're here for the cleanse's knowledge of dragons, by the way.
Yes, yes. We've been hearing of that. And the bird just like disappears again, seems to just melt into shadows that weren't there a moment before, and just reappears as this large elf form behind you guys again. Almost like Aku.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I get it.
Kind of that just slides across solid surfaces and then reforms very suddenly.
Yep. It's very Aku-like in his movement. Just, you know. Yes, God damn it, Dustin. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I just saw the fucking magic card that goddamn Dave posted in the memes chat.
Hate it.
Yeah.
Hate it.
Well, friends, I can send one of our best and brightest with you, who would like, or... And his form just kind of shifts, like there's a breeze that, like he's a tree blowing in the breeze for a second. We're just kind of snapping back to Fef. And he looks down at you, Fef. Even though, like, 30 other male goblins and hobgoblins, like, turn.
I am indeed not our best or brightest.
You aren't. However,
There's several of us. I mean, you got to be honest with yourself.
No, it's true, and I respect a man who is willing to admit his faults. As the patriarch of this clan, and suddenly a very pale, long arm reaches out from the shadows and rests very gently on Fest's shoulder. He invests in you the power to make decisions for the clan, where in these diplomatic relation talks. Don't worry, he's a little confused, but he's got the spirit.
It was my idea. It's an honor. Thank you, Father Faf.
I am sure you will do great. I will also send one of your cousin Fefs with you. One of the smarter ones, not too, smarter, not...
I think we get it.
Yes, thank you, Mahajapit. That's right. You don't get to make another name in your book from me. Oh, also, and then Thef, you are handed also a bottle of the good red as well, of the same variety that Pax was given.
And that counts as a moderate, right?
Yeah.
All right. I have actually 2 of those on me, so I'll just throw one more in the pile. Will thank and slip into the
Oh yeah.
the bandolier.
Right. What's up?
So we, this is all well, I suppose, but at some point we would like to have a conversation about the worm and the history of it, and there's a weapon we have heard of. something useful for fighting dragons, at the very least.
Ah, I believe it was the dragon slayer weapon? Dragon killing weapon? It's a big
Dragon
badass
killer.
dragon killing weapon, yes?
As it was described to us by this one's Uncle Fef, yes.
Hmm. I believe the answers you seek in regards to that are not far off, but they are not relegated. They will not be revealed during this current endeavor.
I suppose that is fair. There are very important werewolves knocking at the front door, so
I will say, however, you're very close.
You mean like physically or?
Yes, physically, geographically.
just start.
It's not on this side of the Teeth Vault. I'll say that.
Fair enough.
Can't reveal more than that without frankly just giving you answers.
Oh, you do not seem the type for such a thing.
Ah, and ruin the dramatic surprise?
That is why I am familiar with people with your temperament.
Yes. Almost like I was
For
a drama
drama.
child. Don't worry about that.
Predilection for the dramatic is something I'm a little accustomed to.
Oh yes.
Yes. Beginning to understand that there's a level of metaphysical powers that also comes with a need to be a dramatic person. It's very one-to-one lines that can be
I'm
drawn.
feeling really called out right now.
What was that? The DM or Fest?
Both. Very much both. ¿Por qué no los dos?
Well, I suppose as far as the discussion of the dragons,
Yes, the Wyrm.
yes, the worm in
The
particular.
Wyrm, yes.
There is someone in our company that has a bit more extensive knowledge of that, although looking around at the dining hall, just this probably would not be the best place for a discussion.
It would certainly be hilarious. However, I commend you for not frightening my clan, my children, and my grandchildren, and my so on and so forth. Have you? They're all my children, even though not by blood, or rather, not by generational standing. They're all my children, and I appreciate you not scaring the shit out of them.
I'd like to think I've developed a bit of a sense of tact, just a little bit.
That will be very helpful for you going forward.
I would hope so.
Ah, when you see what's coming for you, will be fun.
Pax's muffled voice as he's laid his head down on the table. Stop being smug.
No. Are you kidding? I haven't seen you all in 700 years. I finally get to have friends again.
Wait. I'm not that old.
Don't worry about it, too. And he just reaches down and just, like, pets Fef's head.
In a purposely loud whisper, I'm just gonna say to Lorenz, I think he's on drugs.
He might be, and I tire of these kinds of people.
Just so much fun to torture you, Almas.
Oh, use the full name and everything.
Oh. I knew that was gonna be coming. Oh no! We're going back.
Cross your arms all you want. It's not good. I'm getting off topic.
I do what I want.
Fucking Christ.
I refuse to be counter Lauren.
It's really fun being meta. I hope it's not annoying for you guys.
No, and again, as somebody who has, as a player, gotten to do this, as a DM, I can only imagine the levels of satisfying it must be.
It's really fun.
I got to refer to Dave as Dave from a player's point of view. It was a
Yeah.
good time.
Oh, god damn it. Hold on, I'll be back in the game in a sec.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Also, not to detract too much, but two Arkansas men have been arrested for taking turns shooting at each other while wearing bulletproof vests after drinking.
Here,
No, Arkansas.
Oh.
yeah, that part didn't come through, but yeah.
Oh.
What were they charged with?
Probably
Negligent.
yep.
Discharge.
Negligent discharge, reckless endangerment.
Standard hey dum-dums, quit playing with your guns in stupid ways charges.
Yeah, that.
The best part is, neither of those men would have had to file the charges. Like, that's just the city against them. Meanwhile, the two guys I mean, we were drunk, we were having fun, what's the problem? I'm sorry, I thought this was America. Yeah. Remember, they're allowed to vote.
I don't know, depending on the level of the charges, they might not be able to anymore.
Maybe not for long.
That's true. That's true.
That's a valid ass point.
Yep.
So we deal with the liking problem first, then we get the information that we need.
Yes, something like that.
And then I'm actually going to look at Maha and just, when you things are out, say drag you back in. Yeah?
I should have known that I wouldn't be staying away from that line of work for very long.
There's no retiring.
You're a diplomat, dear Mahajapit. Should not be hiding those skills away.
You're right. You are right.
What are you laughing at? Oh. Oh.
That's why I flashed some chest hair.
Life finds a way. Mahajapit.
Mother Fef is a chaostician.
Oh, yeah.
Oh god, I can actually picture it now.
Mm-hmm.
Get the Jeff Goldblum bird out of my fucking head.
Ka. Life finds a way. But I am sure you all have things you would like to do throughout the day before you are sent off into the deep, scary forest, potentially to never return. I have faith in you.
Wouldn't be the first time.
It wouldn't, no. Now, I should tell you, when you encounter distance, it will be okay. Probably. Depending on how lucky you are. Goodbye.
Isn't that always the way? Your clan father worries me. A lot.
He's not often wrong, at least.
You get.
I
much
find
from
that
him-
even more worrying.
Yes, sometimes I wish he were.
You inherit much from him as it is a relative, or are you more like your goblinoid parentage? Because this will inform many opinions of the things you say going forward.
And correct me if I'm wrong on this one, considering Jake, because I'm not sure exactly how much of the clan history was kept with all the other shit.
Right.
We aren't sure. We just know that Father Fef has always been, and Walla has always been. Thus, Fef and Walla have always been.
That's close enough. Yeah.
Good. We're wandering with a heavily drinking hobgoblin who may not speak prophecy every 4 to 15 minutes, depending on alcohol content and time of day. And Lorenz just says that and immediately sags his shoulders and just tucks into the rest of breakfast.
Just like, yep, welcome to the life.
There was a time in my life when I was the one with the most fucked up esoteric problems.
Do you miss those days?
Well, because now there's a great deal of perspective, and I do believe that my fucked up esoteric problems might not be so bad. I made a literal deal with the devil, and I feel like maybe I'm not doing so bad.
Here's, I'll drink to that.
Yes, choose.
Fuck no. If he's a voice in our heads, I fucking do myself in at this point.
Wait, is he not?
No.
Is he not for you guys?
Oh. Yeah.
Nope.
I shocking grasp myself in the fucking throat.
Put in the balls. It'll
Maz.
last longer.
So I was just gonna lean down, just like, there's only room for 2 of us in here, please.
If it provides you with any comfort, Lorenz, the entire party has now made the deal with the devil.
You don't count, Aswelin.
She's not wrong, though.
She counts if she says she counts. You don't pay her sub.
God
Ooh.
damn it. I love it. Fuck you, Cam. You don't pay my sub. Holy.
For Dave, that means something very different.
Yeah, I was trying to puzzle out which meaning we were doing. I'm not gonna lie.
MMO subscription.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Say, would the other one also be valid, though?
So, I think that works either way. Much like me and Jake. Anyway, look, you don't get to sideline me
Here,
for the
Jake.
part of
I
an hour
can
and a
hear
half.
Jake say, "Excuse me," with that expression.
Right.
Like, that was very much his "excuse me" expression.
I can feel it in the air.
You know, all I'm gonna say is there is that chart I sent you earlier.
That's true.
Jake.
That's
Oh,
true.
Just
all right, we're getting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
anyway.
anyway.
We are getting off topic.
reeling it in.
So, what would you guys like to do throughout your day? Because the meeting is now technically tonight. Because it is 2 nights.
Accurate.
What would you guys like to do to like pass the time today before tonight?
The meeting is tonight or tomorrow night?
Tonight.
Odd question.
Mm-hmm.
Can I get 8 hours of sleep as a downtime activity to reduce the fatigue now that I'm not concerned about transforming? Because it's daytime?
I'll allow it. Sleeping during
Fun
the
fact.
day.
lycanthropy is really just really, really, really advanced night terrors.
I mean, yeah.
Terrors for the people around you.
Wrong. But I get what he's saying. Sleep during the day so that he doesn't.
Right. I'll allow
Right.
it. So,
I'm debating if Maha is. I'm considering going around just to ask the as our Feth wonderfully called them, the big brains, just what all they know about dragons in particular. Just if there's anything, like any experiences they've had with them or
sure.
stuff they just know about them.
Just
Yeah,
real
I'll be
quick,
spending some time doing that too because I want it for my own notes.
Fair.
Right.
just to make
Yeah,
sure I'm
like-
remembering this right. It was a big brain that smeared eyeball juice all over our map, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
That is a thing that happened, wasn't it?
Yes.
Ew.
Yes.
Right, because wasn't it they marked the mountain where they saw the other worm, or what was it that they marked?
He had the mountain range that they'd originally come from. They knew of a
Right.
dragon that was resting in the mountains.
Right, and they said it was a black scaled one.
Yes.
Okay,
And so,
I think Maha is probably going to. I think he's going to try and dial in and ask specifically what they know about, or if they've ever had any meeting or experience or knowledge of red and green scaled dragons in particular.
okay. And it takes them a little bit to get back to you just because they actually, the big brain that you speak to actually, like, goes out and confers with the rest of the clan that they can meet throughout the day, basically. To, like, kind of get a more comprehensive answer. And in general, it kind of comes back to not really. Because dragons are really rare. And just not out there all that much.
Yeah, Ma had kind of figured that would likely be the case, but still, just on the off chance.
Right. So yeah, so there's not a whole lot really kind of go on there, but it's still, it's kind of something, at least in some way.
Right.
But like, no, we haven't actually.
Like, so they may have met anything, but do they like? Is there any general just knowledge on dragons that they have?
They're very hungry. They do not like to have their sleep disturbed. And if you do disturb their sleep, run away very quickly.
Dragons just stoners.
What?
I'm going to ignore that.
Good. That's for the best.
Full on fucking freeze. I'm going to ignore that. Packs.
Yeah.
In fact, if everyone would please head on down to the living room very quickly.
Wait.
Except for Cam, of course.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Woo!
Okay.
There we go. Pax. As you begin to drift off, you feel your dreams are very troubled. You have a trouble. You don't have trouble getting to sleep because you were very fatigued beforehand, but when you get to sleep, your dreams are very troubled. You you feel very warm, and many times throughout the day, in fact, you have to take off your kind of to strip yourself out of your clothing, at least to some degree, to just because you're just so hot in this underground barren. It is warm. It is uncomfortably so. It is in you have dreams that are just filled with symbolism. The moon is a very, of course, big part of your dreams. You get you remember the very distinct sensation of just moving quickly, close to the ground, just general, and just perspective shifts a lot to be very different throughout the dream. And every time you wake up to pull off a piece of clothing, and then you just fall right back asleep without really any issue. It's a very fitful night of sleep that you're very much not when you wake up, you are technically not fatigued or very mentally tired. And I will say, after you've woken up, you kind of get you have a more inherent knowledge of what this bite has done to you. If you check your actions sub-menu on your character sheet, you notice one at the very bottom. Now have the change shape action.
Oh, shit. Delete that. Trying to click.
Yeah, you just click on the name, not on the actual icon.
Okay. All right.
Yes. So, and if you'll also notice on the left-hand side, you will notice under your weaknesses now.
I saw that earlier.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, as you awaken closer to nightfall, you are very much you jumbled half memories of dreams bleeding into nightmares, bleeding into dreams of just nothing being comfortable. But when you wake up, your senses seem to be a little sharper.
Oh boy.
I'll just pull everyone back in. Welcome back.
Sick. Also, that card art is dope as fuck.
Yeah, one of the showcase arts for the Forgotten Realms set for MTG is modeled after the old AD&D monster manual, and I fucking love it.
Nice. Get your cameras on. Don't forget to re-up them. So yes. Night begins to fall. Pax rejoins you all. Pax is no longer fatigued. And as you head out of the burrow, as night falls, you are a goblin you kind of starts walking with you. Just hey.
Hello there.
I'm the other big brain that Father Fast wanted me to set.
That is
Said something about. He says something I did at DMPC. I don't really get it, but like he really seemed very upset or something. I don't understand. But hi, I'm Fef.
I'm also Fef.
Yeah. Sometimes when I'm alone, I call myself Walla, but that's
I'm sorry, but all I can think of is fucking Hulk. Just, hey, I'm Faf. I'm also Faf.
And we're
Fef.
Fef.
I could feel Dan's soul leaving his body when he did that on that. Just Dan.
So hey, nice to meet you. I'll hopefully this will go okay, right?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Always have to have hope. Have to.
I mean, you don't have to. It's just it's a lot more depressing.
You have to. You have to. Trust me, you have to.
No,
I
but
mean-
you don't though. It's called depression. It's a very
Yeah.
serious medical condition. But it can be helped with
Oh,
certain
God,
herbs and nuts.
Fucking Fef is just pulling the flask out and then pulling.
But it doesn't mean you're broken as a person. It just means that your brain doesn't quite work correctly. You're still very valid as as a person. You're not any lesser just because you feel sad sometimes.
What color is his shirt? Because I'm hoping it's red.
A deep, vibrant purple. Okay over there?
Having a
Or
big
his
Lorenz,
eyes.
having a big Lorenz Stormblessed moment right now.
Ooh.
Say, what color are the big brain's eyes?
Uh, blue.
Goblin
Okay.
colors.
Okay,
Goblin.
not stars. Got it.
No.
I was gonna say, with the way he was talking, I was just like, is this just him fucking with us again?
No, listen, big brains have very serious messages to spread sometimes.
Everything will be
That's fair.
okay. You just gotta be positive. Even when your brain tells you it's not gonna be okay, I assure you it'll be okay. Also, I'm not very good at combat, so I'm definitely not gonna be going any combat missions. So, like,
We're hoping we don't have to fight the guys.
yeah, that would be great.
Really, that's
Here's hoping we don't have to fight our way through hundreds of miles of deep forest, not knowing where we're going, surrounded by werewolves, right? Oh. Made myself sad.
Didn't you just say something about keeping positive?
Yeah.
Look, worst case scenario, we can burn the forest down and then it'll be fine.
That's
I
That-
don't think that's going to be very fine.
that
I feel like that would be the opposite of fine.
We wouldn't have to worry about the lichens anymore.
The Roshadrons tried that, actually.
they did.
They burned down a fairly sizable section of the forest and then died by the thousands, I believe.
Yeah, roughly. Yeah, they burned down like 150 miles or so of forest. And that really didn't go well for them. It cost them many months on the war front. Also, that burning the forest down would do untold amount of ecological damage to our world, and I do not recommend it.
See, this is why we have the big brains.
I understand now.
I do. I also understand why drinking is such a huge part of your culture.
God.
Yeah,
Also, Fef, sometimes I call myself Walla. You can call me Pagliacci if you want. Haha, that's a funny joke. I don't know where I heard that name, but it really is funny. So, shall we head on over to the forest and potentially get kidnapped by werewolves?
We can only
Would
be
you-
so fortunate at this point.
Okay, can I just ask you something? The next time you have a thought, could you just not? just let it go. Okay? Please?
Oh. Oh, I started to
No,
annoy
wait.
you again, didn't I? Oh.
Oh. Just gonna offer my flask to the big brain.
Oh, takes it and just starts chugging.
let's go.
Let's walk and talk, shall we?
Yeah,
As you head to the clearing where you had last encountered the lichens, the body that you left behind, gone now. Because you did manage to kill one of them before they surrendered.
Right.
And you're waiting for a few hours. Really just listening to this big brain just rattle the fuck on, frankly.
Eventually, Maha has given up on trying to discourage him talking. He's just like, this is just going to happen, so I'm just going to
Listen, you can
tune
learn
in and out.
things. This is a free education.
uh, how old are you? 7?
Forever.
It is forever in Goblin. No, everyone give me perception checks, if you don't mind. Blind perception.
You
Yeah.
got it, Chief.
Blind is default, so unless I say otherwise, yeah. Okay, Maha, Zendros, Fef. Yeah, Maha, Zendros, and Fef. You three are the first to notice when the bugs around you have gone quiet. Forest goes from lively to not at all. And
I was just going to quietly speak of just, do you guys hear that?
No.
Exactly.
Yeah, Zendros was about to give the biting remark of hear what exactly, but
Mhm.
no need now.
No bugs, no birds. This is unnatural. I don't like this.
And it is a few moments later when very tall form of a lycanthrope comes out of the forest. Ah, good. You found this place again. I am glad. So, and a little bit as he kind of like hesitates, 13 other forms come out of the forests around you. Lycanthropes, some of them on foot, some of them riding dire wolves.
Oh boy.
As they have you surrounded. And one especially is definitely like bigger and beefier. Is very his muzzle is very mangled in a fight many however long ago, and just so you're the outsiders.
We represent them, yes.
Well, we are people of our word. We will take you to our leader, and we will see what sort of talks can be had. And he whistles, and out of the forest come 6 dire wolves without riders with saddles on them. Neat.
Yeah, I guess I'll hop on one.
Right. So there's 6. I guess that means the someone's gonna have to double up
Yeah,
because we have the big brain too.
Yeah, the big brain is easily able to double up with anyone, frankly.
I'll drag him up onto mine.
Thanks.
No mention it.
Okay. And they just all right, let's go. And the seeming lead werewolf, who is in a resplendent breastplate, with a tabard even like over, has a maul on one hip and a shield on his back. And he
Is
just
there any kind of insignia on anything he's wearing?
he kind of not an official insignia, but it is like 3 claw marks basically kind of act as the insignia.
Okay, but it's not of any like established nation that
Right.
I'd recognize or anything. Okay.
Exactly. And as you guys are going, actually they do begin to light up like lanterns even on their hip. And the forest around you begins to glow a little bit, and you guys are able to, those of you without dark vision are able to see again. as they kind of get more light going. And you're not entirely sure exactly how long you're traveling, because, to be honest, after you've been traveling for like what feels like several hours, even, there is no light here. It is the tree density is so much so that eventually you get the strong suspicion that it is blocking out the sunlight from above.
Or the moonlight?
The moon or sunlight.
Okay.
It is very much just dark. And as you as you may or may not sleep, if the urge takes you, when you awaken, it is still dark around you. Kind of plunged into an eternal darkness, and at best, twilight in the vault as you go deeper and deeper. And so it is that you're not entirely sure how long you've been traveling when in the distance you hear tink, 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 tink. And ahead of you, the darkness begins to glow with firelight. And before long, you are actually able to... the forest kind of... it opens up, sort of, into a town. There are stone walls surrounding the town, and it is built through the trees, without cutting down any tree. So the forest above the tree line is not disturbed in any way, as the village that you come across is, well, you are actually barred at the gates, where you see two more werewolves, actually, manning the gates out front. One, very tall, actually has a, what is very affectionately known in the Tiefwald and the and Southern Bavarian Empire as a Zweihander, and a tower shield in the other hand.
It's impressive, frankly.
Disconcerting.
And the other has a short sword and a a round shield and whatnot. But they're both in heavy plate armor, tabards as well, with the same kind of informal claw mark that the Lycans you have been traveling with have as well. Ah, Azarius is back with the outsiders. Let them in. And you hear grunting on the other side as the gates begin to rise for you. And you are let into the village, and inside you see a village, like just the same as you would see outside of the Tiefwald. There are just... the people are Lycans. Hear the banging of a blacksmith somewhere nearby. People are leading livestock around, there are roads leading, through town, but also out of town. And it is, in general, not the sort of sight you expected to really see, getting this far into the forest. Most of the buildings are brick and stone. And again, kind of built around the forest without destroying any of the forest.
Right.
And they dismount the dire wolves, and you guys are helped off of the dire wolves even. And the lead Lycan that led you, Azarius. All right, go on. And the dire wolves just kind of and walk off. And he looks at you and just, well, welcome to my village. This is our home. It is maybe not as fancy as you all might be accustomed to, but we survive here.
Things seem well established enough here. One would almost think you might be thriving.
We do.
Quite
Mostly
impressive.
because we keep outsiders out.
I understand.
And he kind of sniffs at the air before just kind of, Well, our leader will want to see you. You want like a drink before you go? Do you need to go to the bathroom or anything? Because they did lead you on like a pretty hard pace getting here.
Right. I suppose a moment's respite wouldn't be unwelcome before our meeting.
Yeah, water and a bathroom break, basically.
Right, and he kind of nods and leads you over to actually a tavern. Getting you inside, and it's a tavern slash beer hall kind of thing. There's probably beds somewhere. And it's very much just oddly familiar as a Lycan walks over, just outsiders. First outsiders I've seen in decades. What would you like to drink?
A simple ale will do for me.
That's good. That's good. And Lycan nods and looks to the rest of you.
What do you recommend?
Well, we've got ale. And then we've got different flavored ale.
Alright, whatever
I'm not
flavor you think is best.
I won't lie to you, folks. There's not a whole lot in terms of selection. But we have mead. We have ale and we have mead.
Zendros gives a courteous smile, and he's like, I appreciate the hospitality, but I'm not much one for the spirits, so I will be abstaining from that.
Well, fair enough. We got the mead from Kalint before the war happened and all that, but
I will have some of that, please.
nods and brings you Zendros some water.
Same for Lorenz, honestly.
The water or the mead? Water.
Water.
Aha, you get an ale. Beth, you are brought a mug of mead. And Pax, she looks at you and just leans in, just... Ah! What will you have?
Water's fine. I'm having enough trouble as it is.
It'll get better, friend. It'll get better. And they look at you, Aslan, and then just kind of Kind of back away.
I do not drink.
That's fair. Kind of turn and leave, and Paxio brought water as well. You guys are given a chance to really kind of like relax. Weirdly.
Keeping our big brain close, by the way.
Oh yeah, the big brain is like, holy shit! There's fucking. They've got a town, and there's a civilization, and wow! As you guys are just like surrounded by other lycanthropes who are all just like at tables drinking their drinks. You distinctly hear stuff about like how work has been rough and how, you know, worrying about being able to survive the winter when it comes, and
Just people.
right.
Right.
I feel like there's a lot for both my family and these people to gain from us working together, honestly.
Yeah, they seem agreeable. The hard part is going to be getting them to let us in. That's gonna be a little difficult.
You're getting your people to agree to let them in turn.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is a bit that I caught that I'm gonna hold on to for now.
Okay. So, as you all are allowed to rest for a little while, Azarius is nearby, and he even orders like a flagon of ale and just sits down with you. Just, you are the first outsiders we have allowed within these walls, even this deep into the forest, in centuries. Frankly, if it were up to me, we would have killed you at the border. No hard feelings, of course. I just don't trust outsiders.
There is certainly much to be distrustful of. I will not begrudge you that.
Well, it is up to our leader to decide the overall fate of your diplomatic overtures. But enjoy it while you can, I suppose.
We will see what we can do to make the most of it.
And the lichens around you are even, like, dressed in, like, furs, but also, like, those that aren't in armor are also wearing, like, actual clothes. And, like, you know, jerkins and just vests and pants. You saw some walking in dresses and, like, habits. Habits and bonnets and whatnot. Which, by the way, the sight of a werewolf in a bonnet, just classic for some of you.
Yeah, but
And after your drinks have concluded, he nods and stands. All right, I'm gonna take you to the leader. And he
let's
kind
be
of
off then.
shuffles you on out of the tavern after paying your tab. And he takes you to a stone-built cathedral is the best way to describe it. It is an odd, it looks almost out of place if it weren't for the fact that everything else is also made of stone around here. Most things are made of stone. And you can even see in parts where trees are growing out of the roof as you approach.
Literally built around the trees. Okay.
And as you enter, it is, there are more guards at the doors, and more guards at yet more doors, like inside and whatnot. And you go through a few antechambers, or eventually you are led into a larger chamber with a large raised dais, or dais, I guess, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And on it is a throne. And you see on the throne a very gray, shaggy-looking werewolf. Long beard off of his muzzle, and with a crown on his head, made of gold, with some gemstones encrusted in. Just, you are the outsiders, with whom my scouts heard stories of, and a deal. I am King Merrick. Which, if you guys would like the spelling of that, Marrok. I saw TJ scrambling for his notebook. I am king of these lands. We have remained impartial and neutral in the conflicts of the outside world. How we have maintained our survival, our secrecy. I explain this so that I hope you might understand why I am hesitant to entertain the thoughts of diplomacy with outsiders. But spared my scouts when you could not have, or could have not. And that is worth hearing you out.
Well, King Merrick, on behalf of ourselves and the members of Clan Wallafeth, I would like to thank you for granting us this audience to hear us make our case. And I do understand your position of keeping neutral and separate from the outside world, and I would not presume to force you to make a decision to take a stance and pick a side with anything on the outside. There was simply a hope to arrange something to prevent any conflict and perhaps take up some mutual cooperation.
And also that my scouts may have jumped the gun a little bit in regards to opening hostilities. And for that, I do apologize. And he kind of runs his clawed hand through his beard, which is very immaculately braided, by the way, ending in a metal band that kind of keeps it together.
I can very certainly understand the belief to reach certain conclusions and act quickly when a believed way of life is seemingly threatened. I know it quite well. I've seen such firsthand.
Well, He kind of mulls over your words and. So, what is the deal that you wish to bring to me?
If you would not mind the imposition, before trying to address an exact deal, I would like to hear a bit more about your people and your way of life, and understand a bit more about the concerns you have with outsiders and why you felt so threatened by the presence of our friend's clan.
Well, that's the last one, quite. How would you feel knowing that some goblins and hobgoblins had moved in next door? However, as for us, we are one of the many kingdoms of the Tiefwald that have, through our unique nature, are not welcome in the outside world. Our forefathers, many centuries ago, realized that society would not accept those of us who are cursed with the lycanthropic nature, and so banded together and struck out into the woods, where they could be free and open. Over time, more like us came to our borders, and a community was formed. We are... We do not so much crave hostility. We do not crave violence, as some would believe. We have embraced our nature and simply choose to outside of, away from the societies that would see us driven and burned for merely existing. We exist in this eternal night, eternal twilight, and we keep to ourselves, and we have ensured that the outside world, the Duvarian Empire and the Roshadrins have not been allowed entrance into our lands. Which, I would say, they have inadvertently helped one side or the other at one point or not. Not my care nor my place. Admittedly, my kingdom is too far north to really be concerned with the border skirmishes.
I do understand your position, truly I do. It is difficult to try and find a place for oneself when faced with such harsh judgment.
And you hear some murmur of agreement from throughout the room, because there are guards in the room, of course, just other lycanthrope guards, heavily armed and armored, just kind of protecting their king. I, King Merrick, rule over the kingdom of Pagon. Pagon. Yep.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
Which spans roughly the northern 300 or so miles of the Teeth Vault.
You have quite the lands to take charge of. Would it be safe to assume that this is then but the seat of one of many settlements of yours then?
This is my my capital of my kingdom. Though I am admittedly I am one of the larger kingdoms in terms of land, but not necessarily, or in terms of size. There are kingdoms further south in the deeper Teeth Vault that have more people, have more military might, but my kingdom, I carved out the northern stretch of the Teeth Vault that carves outward, and have kept it quite fiercely from those that would carve off pieces for themselves.
See. It is well within your right to defend your kingdom so adamantly.
And he smiles and nods, and I would see how genuine your wish for cohabitation is via sending you on a mission.
Might I inquire as to the nature of this mission?
You okay, Cam?
No. Yes.
One of the villages to the north of here has gone silent. We have not heard from them in several days, and while I was going to send some of my own scouts, and I've sent some in the past, and we have not heard back from them. I would ask that you head north, discover what has happened in this village, and bring back word, or if you are able to, if something bad has happened, if they have been attacked, or something of a hostile nature, some other kingdom perhaps sneaking around through my kingdom, discover the cause of what has happened in the village, and potentially settle it. End the threat to my kingdom. And I will consider allowing this clan of goblins and hobgoblins into my lands. And he looks at you, Fef, and the big brain as well, who has been mostly quiet just because I don't want to fucking talk to myself, god damn it.
That is fair. Don't have to Nolan North it.
Right.
Yeah, I remember when I had to do the. If you remember the Deep Gnome Council in
Mhm.
Blingdenstone, that
Mhm.
was something.
Yeah. What better way to make yourself feel like you have schizophrenia than just talking to yourself repeatedly in different voices?
I mean, doesn't everyone? Right?
I mean, you're not wrong.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
Actually, same, yeah.
Are these terms agreeable? He kind of leans forward on his throne, which is, by the way, very immaculately carved and like gilded with gold and silver, and there are gemstones along the top. Just very much just fancy.
They are, Your Majesty, but might I leave this one behind? He's not suited for fighting, you see.
I'm not a combat person, I can tell.
He also may have some information to share with you involving the outside world that might directly affect your kingdom anyway, in regards to Dragon.
What news do you bring of Dragon?
I'm just going to explain it the way Fef has every single time. Huge dragon blew up a whole ass town. We were there. It's called Worm, yes?
Yes, a weird.
Yeah.
A worm, weird, depending
Because
on.
that was in character.
Oh, fair.
Yes, a
Yeah.
red worm.
Well, I do not feel anything for an outside city being destroyed or attacked. I must commend your bravery and tenacity in surviving an attack of such a nature.
Just, apparently one's awake now.
Well, I thank you for this information, and I will ruminate on it and potentially send messages out to the other kings and queens of the default. And he raises up, actually, walks down the steps, and he's got a little bit of a rickety gait to him. He's not as muscled as some of the others around. He kind of offers out his hand to you, Fef.
All right.
Find what happened to my people, and I will genuinely consider the offer of your people cohabitating.
Consider it done.
And he takes your hand and he shakes it, then nods, and then looks at you, Pax, and just, you are the one that Matthias bit.
Yeah.
I apologize. However, also say, as long as you are afflicted, you will always have a home here.
In a potentially insensitive way of speaking, I have done cursory study on the curse of lycanthropy. Your people seem so far beyond the current magical understanding of your condition.
Wager, young man, that would be because most of those that the outside world sees are outliers. They are those that feel pushed the edge of where they feel they can be. A cornered dog, if
So this is the norm, not the other way around.
it took us many years, I will admit, get to the state that we are now, but yes.
So then, in the theory, that in the situations that we are not able to alleviate our companion of This problem shouldn't bother him enough to feel needing alleviated. It is controllable.
Eventually, yes.
I'll just give Pax a look.
I am not smart enough, nor do I have enough patience to spend years trying to control this. You either need to help cure me, or I'm gonna have to do something more drastic.
If I may, one of your scouts, when we first arranged for this meeting, had said that there were shamans within your tribe that, or your village, that could potentially manage or alleviate this curse. Is this true?
I looked into it and asked our shamans and our clerics, and unfortunately, none of them are able to perform the rite that you would require at this time.
At this time?
I could potentially call in others from somewhere else, from potentially another kingdom, potentially an outlier in my own kingdom. I don't know. And I will not be able to know for a few months. Weeks to months, I should say. And I could do more, but as an immediate, no one that in my kingdom is available to perform the rite that you would require.
I see. That is most unfortunate.
I apologize that I am not able to do. Village going to is Dust Shade. It is half a day's travel north of here along the road, out of the north of the town. And I believe, I hope, that you find the answer to what has happened to my people.
We will do everything in our power to find the answer and resolve such situation as is necessary.
He nods, and then, in the name of Aristil, good hunting. In the name of Iomade, bring those who have done wrong to my people to justice. That he kind of bows, he kind of nods to you before kind of dismissing you and walking back to his, basically.
With those names, I forget, like, did we, it was last session we actually did do religion checks on what we
Yes.
knew on those god names, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because I remember I rolled like absolute ass. I couldn't tell anything.
Oh, that's fair.
Okay. Ama's gonna just kind of take a deep breath and just turn back to the group and say, well, if no one has any pressing obligations to be handled here in town, I suppose now would be as good a time as any to head out.
I certainly have no desire to stay any longer than is necessary. And I'm sure
No,
Zave
but-
would see it that way as well.
Yeah.
And with that, you all are led to the northern gate, and kind of the gate is open, and you're all kind of politely pushed out of the town, and the gate closes behind you. Able to see about 40 feet all out via the torchlight, and
And
road,
just darkness.
and then darkness. And on that note, that is where we will take our break for the evening.
Okay.
See you guys in about 10 minutes or so as we come back, and we will continue. As you head into the T-Fold, unaccompanied and on your own.
I might actually get to roll a stealth check.
Indeed. See you guys soon.
Yep.
And I'll be back in a minute.
Back. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello. How's everyone doing?
Not too bad.
You did slowly begin to pile back in. Everyone having fun?
Enjoying it.
Good.
Yes,
Good. 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 Good.
my fun is tempered by concern.
Heh. That's just fun for me.
That's fun plus.
Artemis is just flopped out on the fucking floor. TJ will be back momentarily. I'll wait for Dustin and...
And I am back.
Dave just gave. Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Fucking Hamble made some spicy stuffed red peppers. Is how I'm doing.
Nice.
Ooh.
10 minutes on the nose, by the way. Well done.
I wish I could claim it was on purpose, but nobody would believe me anyway.
It's true. It's true.
Oh yeah, y'all want to not be surprised by something?
Sure.
Los Arcos, the little market like down the block from here.
Mhm.
Frax and I hit it up just to grab some shit for dinner today, and we hit up. They have like a little butcher shop in there, and we roll over there, and they are cleaned the fuck out because tomorrow's the 4th, so everybody in the neighborhood rolled up and bought them out all their meat.
Yep.
That I wish I could say was surprising, but nah, that tracks.
Yeah, I was more just sad I didn't think about it earlier in the day. Otherwise, I would have tried to scramble up there.
Yeah, I feel that.
It is not a valid substitute, but it is tasty if you've got a greengrocer or something. Buy some big ass fucking portobello caps and just do
Ooh, yup.
garlic
No,
butter
I
portobello
love that.
caps. Just throw those on the grill. That's almost steak-like.
No, it's delicious.
Same value.
Like I remember there was a little like gastropub over in BG that Dustin and I used to go to called Two Foxes. Like every Wednesday they had buy one get one free burgers, and we would just go there for lunch. And there was one they had that it was like these burgers were, I swear, like 2/3 of a pound. They were absolutely gargantuan. Yeah, there was one that had, I can't remember whether it was either Swiss or blue cheese with caramelized onion jam, and like it was. They said it was just it had mushrooms on it. No, it was literally like an entire grilled portobello cap cut into strips on that burger, and that shit was the bomb.
That sounds delicious, and now I'm hungry as fuck.
Right,
You're
like,
welcome.
into it.
Yeah.
I've already eaten, and I'm hungry again.
It's like I think I remember even one of the things they had as just an option you could do is like if you wanted to go like vegetarian with their burgers, you could replace the burger patty with just an entire grilled portobello cap, which, not gonna lie, I'd fuck with that.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
For sure. Dave, you remember the Wheat and Rye bar?
Oh yeah.
Do that for a hot minute too.
Right, just roll
What
it.
up,
That's where I
Dustin?
learned
Welcome
about
back.
the superiority of Coke and grenadine over cherry Coke, for the record.
Yup.
Sorry if I'm late back. My stomach decided to act up.
No, you're good. You're
Mm-hmm.
good.
Y'all good.
I'm back as well.
Hey, welcome back.
Man.
All right, so now that everyone's back, we'll just jump right into it. You guys are on the northern border of the town of Dustshade was the town that is.
They want to send us to.
Yes. You are now in the town of the town that you haven't got the name of, but I will say the spoil for you is Croden. Crodenn.
Sorry about that. My notebook almost went all the fuck over for a minute there. Can I get that one more time?
Yes. In fact, I will put it in the non-disc boundary. As Fef, apparently. I happen to have Fef selected at the time.
I feel like that's
Other Fef was the one saying it.
Right.
We got the King Merrick. That's right.
Yeah, I was just about to ask. Can I get his name real quick? And nope, never mind. You got
Yep.
it.
There you go. That is how you spell it.
Okay, I did have that right.
I found my big ass D&D notebook yesterday while opening up a bunch of my moving stuff, so I can take notes appropriately again.
Yeah. So, standing on the northern edge of the town, just past the city walls, the forest becoming very dark in front of you once the torchlight fades. What will you do?
I mean, he gave us a general heading. Did he not?
Yes,
He
north
said
along
that
the
if
road.
we follow the road north, it's about a half a day's travel to get to Dustshade.
I see no reason to waste time about it.
Aside from it being the middle of the night.
Is it though?
Yeah, I think
Like
it's gonna be the middle of the night the
that's
whole
the
time
thing.
we're here.
Like they had us on the road to get here for a while.
Yeah, it took
Like
a while. You're not sure how long, though.
it was
If
several
I may make a
hours, but we don't
recommendation,
know.
What was that word?
if I may make a recommendation, we should go a short way out of town, and then camp and rest before we travel. I do not think they want us staying in town, though
Yeah.
they may accommodate us if we ask for it.
Well, I wouldn't seek to impose on them. It likely would not reflect well on us, I think.
Yes, perhaps after these matters are taken care of, they will be more welcoming.
Right now we are at a net zero on goodwill with these people.
Let's make our way down the road a short way, and then I suppose we can set up the yurt.
Yeah.
So, say about maybe just an hour or two along the road, you think?
Yeah, enough to put some real distance between us
Right.
and the village.
Okay. Is anyone going to be burning a light source?
We probably should, so that we don't have half our group just tagging along literally blind.
See, I was debating that or using rope to lead the people without dark vision, because how much do we want to expose ourselves right now?
That is also fair.
Here's the big thing. If an hour or two outside of this werewolf's territory, one could feasibly consider safe because they have kept it well enough for them to develop an entirely civilized village. Like, yes, they built walls, don't get me wrong, but it's not like we found bodies on pikes outside of these walls, basically leading an example for anything that was coming for them. There's a certain range outside of most civilizations where you can assume that you're mostly safe just because of the fact that anything that would come for that civilization is something that they've been dealing with.
Right.
Even like wild animals would be like, nah, werewolves be around there. We don't fuck with that. There's a certain amount of territory that is marked and not to be fucked with by most of the local ecosystem, one would imagine.
Right.
So,
do we want to burn the torch? I feel like we can probably do so
Yeah.
relatively safely.
I'll burn a torch.
So between all of us, we probably have enough torches to last us a while.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Probably. So yeah. Okay. So you guys burn torches and whatnot. A torch, I should say. And after about an hour's travel, you head off the beaten path, as it were.
Yeah, just find enough of a clearing to set up the yurt.
Right. You set up the yurt. And you are able to get a... Well, you're able to get it set up. Are you doing watch tonight?
Even with
Oh, yeah.
even with like thing that being relatively near civilization should be safe-ish, I think we still don't want to risk not having watch.
It's smart.
That is fair. Who will be taking first watch?
How many watch shifts do we need again?
3.
We do
Um,
3 watch shifts. I think it's like 9-ish hours for. I forget how exactly that broke up for.
Yeah, there's the chart,
like,
but I
yeah.
can't remember.
I will take second.
I'll take first. Just
So
because
I'll
low
take-
light vision.
Can I take a first watch while I'm tied up?
I'm... You can...
Technically, you could watch.
Technically, you could still stay awake to watch, but it's just you'll be tied up, so
Right.
you won't really be able to do much should you see things unless someone handles that.
So yeah, the total time for your watch is 9 hours and 36 minutes, and each of your watches is an hour and 36 minutes. Assuming
That's
That would
assuming
be
one
assuming
person
one-
per watch.
one person
Yeah, that
per
would assume
watch. Yeah.
one-man watches. Yeah,
Look at a 3-person schedule because that's the way we do
yeah,
it.
that's the way we usually handle the things.
Yeah, it's 2 per watch. Yeah.
Right. So we're essentially doing 3 shifts.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Aslan will sleep during first watch and be awake for the other 2. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I suppose technically, if it does still require a full 8 hours sleep, I think that technically would mean that it would have to be 12 hours of a rest, because that would be
Yeah. Technically,
4
it
hours.
does
Yeah.
need to be 8 hours.
Well, part of the long rest is also the same. It's the same kind of concept with short rest. You can be on watch and still get a long rest because it's still considered a downtime activity. Now, if you get attacked during your watch and stuff like that, that is when it starts to fuck with your long rest type stuff.
Right.
Or if you're,
Yeah.
genuinely having to like be careful, you're having to like, if you're under threat of attack basically, and you're not able to actually like rest at all.
Right.
Yeah, part of the long rest isn't just sleep; it's legitimately just resting and relaxing.
Right. Or sleep is part of that, but yeah, okay. I gotcha.
Yeah, it's like a short rest where you're not like taking a power nap or anything like that. You're just chilling out for an hour. But yeah, like I said, I'll take first.
Okay.
And I'll take second.
Okay. Who will be sharing first with Lorenz?
I think I will.
Okay. And while the rest of you pile into the yurt, Lorenz and Maha, you guys head out of the yurt. Lorenz, I'm assuming keeping your torch going because you have low light vision. Maha, you have dark vision, so you don't need the torch.
I've kind of got like the bottom portion of the torch stuck in the ground, basically, just so I have a hand free, kind of nearby where
Also,
I'm
the
sitting.
yurt has a campfire, doesn't it?
It has a campfire. It has a fire pit inside. It's actually a thing of the yurt. The light from the yurt does not shine outside the radius of the yurt, so
Yeah.
people don't spot it.
Right.
Right.
That's fucking insane.
God, the yurt is so good. Such a good investment.
Yeah.
Good idea on Pax's and Cameron's part. But
Quite a
So,
good find.
Lorenz and Mahajapit, give me perception checks.
You know what? Could I actually? I'm gonna have Glint the Took out as well to keep an eye on things.
Okay.
Although, like, I'm actually going to have him essentially stick with us at the camp instead of what I did before of like sending him out to like patrol. No,
Okay.
I'm keeping him nearby.
Keeping him nearby is effectively an attack dog.
Again, not so much looking at him in that sense. It's more just you're part of the group. You're
Right.
as much with us as anyone.
Right. Lorenz, the firelight of the torch is really kind of fucking with your ability to like see too terribly far. Maha, you're able to see much further into the dark past where the torchlight ends, kind of loses its color after a point.
Right.
You're able to see like deer and elk and whatnot that just like pass by in the night. They like watch you from a distance and then just keep going on. Um, um, and like we even notice like a pack of foxes at some point just kind of bounding through the brush. The forest is alive around you, but at the moment nothing hostile around for your watch.
I just kind of like at first on watching just was very tense, but on just seeing the general wilderness going about, like he very much just like his shoulders ease up as he just kind of like breathes a bit of relief. Just camping in the woods. Just camping in the woods.
Lorenz is kind of uh, with the inability to see very far from due to the firelight. He actually pulls out that second spell book that he got and also a writing set, proper like ink and quill, and is writing in the spell book formula and stuff like that, and just looks over at Maha. Never got to do much camping. Is it? I imagine it must have been at least some kind of fun.
It's a nice way to just get away from things for a while. Just a bit of an escape from proper society, as it might be.
What was it like? Proper society.
Well, it wasn't all bad, though it could certainly feel a bit stuffy at times. Just fairly often getting to just enjoy the city life, but the talks were... It varied. Sometimes it was very nice and casual and easygoing and easy to reach whatever conclusions were needed. Others, it was painfully tense and dragged on. Admittedly, this latest meeting with King Merrick felt a bit to me more like the latter.
Yeah,
What was your impression of them?
he closes the book. I can understand them. There's a relatable note of survivalism and the way it can isolate a person. They've they've let the ideas that being alone means that they have survived become less of a happenstance and more of a philosophy. And I cannot say it did not work for me at one point in my life. I mean, I had siblings, yes, but the us against the world mentality does tend to breed a more ready mindset.
Better or worse,
But,
it entrenches one, yes.
yeah, but I think there is something to be said for the fact that we are dealing with a society that has very openly stated that they have a huge amount of territory, but a smaller amount of populace than other kingdoms of their type, bordering against a society that plies martial activity as a trade. If they were to overcome this social boundary, I feel a natural symbiosis here.
certainly would be quite a beneficial arrangement to have the extra eyes and hands needed to keep watch and guard over said territory. After all, spreading oneself too thin can make it a bit difficult to manage such a kingdom.
Yeah. They're clearly not invested in either side of the war, and neither are Clan Fefwala. But being so close to the front as they are, should either side decide to make a proper push through this area, I would be afraid of what would happen to them. Perhaps by joining force, you would have a proper deployment of people.
It could, as Glinthatook actually like head up from where he was resting near Maha. If they were to join forces, it could be the deciding factor in the war.
That also. I wasn't going to push them to get involved, but that's a fine point.
I waged a war many years ago, lost it eventually, but there are times where sometimes people need to be pushed into doing what is best for them.
Norn just kind of stares at the spell book in his lap for a moment while nodding at that.
Whether they want to or not. Well, you all know exactly how large this forest is. They say that there are many kingdoms in this forest. Imagine what that would do to the front line.
On either side.
Yes. Then again, who's to say that either side is justified?
Maha kind of tilting his head down at that one.
Hey, this video is
Yes, Cameron?
Is it brought to you by HelloFresh?
There is one other thing, though, that caught my attention, though I could not find a appropriate moment to raise question about it to King Merrick.
Hmm?
Do you remember what drinks they offered us at the tavern?
Ale, import mead from Kalint, and water.
Exactly.
They did say the mead had come from before the front line cut them off.
He said it came from Kalint before the war. The war has been going for 35 years, but King Merrick claims that his people have remained isolated and wanting nothing to do with outsiders for centuries. I don't know whether that import is simply an exception that has been made that he's deigned not to share such information with us. Perhaps it wasn't an import at all, but more something taken from outsiders that had it on them. But I can't help but feel that with them so openly mentioning getting that from Kalint, perhaps the isolation is not as set as they'd have us believe, or
Maybe some of them are reaching the limits of their own society in order to do trade or otherwise. Maybe the isolation is not so upheld when it comes person to person or otherwise.
could be.
It's a gentler type of smuggling, perhaps, but it implies a great deal politically and ideologically.
Precisely. I simply just with our relationship with other people in the king being tenuous at best for now, I thought it best not to try and bring it up and raise any suspicion or questions. But with this knowledge, perhaps if we find anything in Dust Shade, once we're able to fulfill everything that King Merrick has asked of us, perhaps then might be able to speak a bit more freely about it and have some answers.
Agreed. It's a good idea to keep an eye out for things that we might find in dust shades that come from the outer kingdoms, as it were. But yes, I do think you're right. The freedom and the sharing of information will be a lot easier when they do not view us as an invading outsider, but someone that can be relied upon.
My thoughts exactly.
I, for one, am happy that no one started a fight in the middle of a town full of werewolves. I'm
I
very
mean,
proud of how you all have matured.
give us some credit.
I won't.
I have not participated in a fight that has not been started before I drew my blade, Blinsatuk. I do not appreciate what you're insinuating about my character.
I'm giving you shit.
I understand, but my butchery does not come without reason, thank you very much.
I am attempting to make a joke. I'm not good at it. I
We can tell.
apologize.
And Loren just starts grinning.
I apologize if I offended you. I'm
I'm fucking with you.
Oh,
Tukey, it seems you got a bit more to learn about humor.
Actually, imagine Aslan coming out during their watch, because each
Yeah.
watch is 3 hours.
Oh, yeah.
So.
it's Tifvaldian humor. It's no laughing matter.
Ah, see, he learns.
There is little to laugh about in these woods, that is true.
The joke is that there is no joke. Haha, funny.
Ah, the devil of the woods has joined us. The grand sweeping state. Hello.
Leaning into Maha, but absolutely letting Glintatuk hear. He is getting worse at this. Maybe he's been away from his own kind too long.
I'm not really sure how we solve that, but
Go hug a dragon. What's the worst that could happen?
Ma actually going to go over and hug onto one of his legs.
Yeah,
I was about to say Loren spreads his arms at Glintatuk.
Oh, I did this to myself.
Did you say me get into the alcohol already?
I did not.
No. Troubling a dragon.
Technically, I'm dead. I don't know what alcohol would do to me, but
Not much, I would wager.
I've never tried.
We could always find out,
We
but
could.
I feel like that would lead to far more issues.
Let's not do it when we're in the middle of uncharted territory, yes?
Yeah, back to picking a fight in a village full of werewolves, yeah?
Yes.
Also, good Morgan Aslan.
It would be guten.
I'm using the informal.
That's fair.
Get fucked! Anyway.
It's odd. That Father fellow, whatever he was,
It
kept mentioning names I've not heard in many years.
I'm sorry, you've heard those names?
You knew them?
No, well, not when I was alive.
Okay. Hold.
There was an incident several hundred years There was an incident several hundred years ago, before you summoned me, of course. Or rather, summoned my spirit from the astral plane, where certain adventurers attempting to encroach upon my ancient domain. I had left to my son. And kobolds were attempting to summon my spirit back to the realm of the living. Less what you have done, Mahajapit, but instead as a resurrection.
Maha just very much doing this right now. Just
Yeah, at this point, Lorenz stands up and actually looks at Aslan and go, "Well, Aslan, as you've woken up, you've inherited the existential crisis that the dragon is about to impose upon the halfling. Have a good day. I'm going to go to sleep."
What, you thought you could just fucking bring back a character from the last campaign and it wouldn't fuck your head up?
of course. I knew this shit was going to happen eventually. I was kind of looking forward to it.
Yeah, no,
Maha
I mean,
himself isn't, but
same as a player, but Lorenz is full on bailout.
It's like, hold on. Let me get this straight. So I wasn't the first to contact you or bring you forth, but you never deigned to mention this whatsoever?
You're the first to bring me back physically.
And yet any kind of contact with... No mention whatsoever. In all of my time starting to try and find some kind of answer as to what exactly happened between us, you never thought that just any mention of this might have something important about it?
I don't think he trusted you.
To be honest, I had forgotten until he had mentioned the names. It is odd, like there's a haze over my memory of the events.
Okay.
I'm slowly putting it together.
Alright. If that is the case, and you did not know or remember, I apologize.
That is fair. No, it is understandable.
But I don't suppose, now that you do remember that this happened, do you know anything about the way these kobolds contacted or called you, if that might have any relation to what has happened between us
I
now,
do
or-
not. All I remember is, because again, it was less of a physical summoning and more of pulling my spirit itself from the astral sea, from the afterlife, from the astral sea, whatever you call it. In fact, in truth, Mahajapit, I do not even think that I am truly the soul of what I was when I was alive. I think I have been given sentience by your own magic. I am a sliver of what the true Glint was, I think. Some part of me pulled from my magical imprint upon the arcane, the astral sea, that you pulled. Whereas I quite possibly my soul would very well be still resting in the afterlife, whatever afterlife there may be, for dragons, for humans, for elves, for halflings, whatever that it may be.
I suppose I had never considered that as a possibility.
That's fair. I hadn't either. I'm having an existential crisis. Thank you for teaching me that word, Lorenz.
You're welcome.
Yes. Go to sleep.
Well, now I'm interested in your existential crisis.
Ah! Very odd seeing this German Shepherd-sized fucking dragon just I'm sorry, Malamute-sized dragon. Let's be honest here.
I mean, some German shepherds get dummy big.
That's true
And he's medium-sized creature for now.
for now.
Again, you didn't get to meet. You got to meet Diesel for a hot minute, didn't you?
I'd call him medium-sized.
Yeah, he stands as tall as I am on his hind legs.
It was terrifying.
Very much just pondering on this potentiality. Just well, I suppose if it is true that such memories are only just coming to you as they are. There's much more yet to learn and understand about, well, you and us, really.
Yes, I'm genuinely fascinated to see where it takes us.
Time will tell. But all this thinking has me very tired now.
Yes, I would
and
very much not like to think for the next several hours. Thank you.
You know what? I think you've earned that, buddy. Just patting on the on the sigil while also patting on his shoulder and just
Right, just... Linthatuke just disappearing. Oh yeah. Aslan, you'll be taking the next shift with Zendros then. So Zendros, you are awoken by either Lorenz or Mahajapit going to bed. Woken up, you head outside of the yurt, and Aslan's already there, kind of next to this porch that I can only assume, Lorenz, you kind of left outside.
Yeah, I'd leave it burning just throughout the night.
Okay. So, Zendros and Aslan, give me perception checks.
Alright. Sorry, I had to find the blind button.
Nope, you're fine. Right. So, Zendros, much in the same way that Lorenz kind of couldn't see much past the firelight, you're kind of in a similar boat where it's very hard to kind of see past where the glow of the fire has of the torch has illuminated for you. It's a very interesting kind of experience for you, because I mean you can see 40 feet out, and then past that it's just pitch black. And Aslan, you are in a very similar vein of Mahajapit, able to kind of see nature kind of just keep going around you, avoiding your camp specifically. Like, a lot of these older a lot of these creatures are just like, they see your campfire, your torchlight, and they just steer clear. Kind of not wanting to be involved, from what you can tell. And you two may interact as you wish.
It seems fire is still an effective deterrent in these woods.
For that, I'm grateful. I'm not quite familiar with these parts myself, so I take some small comfort in that, not knowing what's out there and having a deterrent of some sort.
To be fair, even the people who dwell in these woods, I doubt they even truly know the nature of it. And even then, what may be true in these parts of the woods may not be so much further south.
That is both comforting and worrying, I suppose.
Such is the nature of any large land.
I wouldn't know. Haven't been to many large lands.
Consider our travels. Was the place that our airship in any way similar to Alhax? Sure, there are maybe some base similarities that are very towers for the airships, buildings, homes, things like that, but in the more general sense, there are very different places.
This is a fair point. It's been a rather eventful sort of past couple of weeks.
Almost difficult to believe that it's only been a few weeks.
Yes. I've been documenting a lot of it, and when one really looks back on it, and it's one thing to experience it, but looking back on it in texts, it's quite unbelievable at times.
It would all seem rather preposterous from an outsider's perspective.
Yes, but I suppose I would rather have some sort of documentation of the events going on. Someone's got to hear about all of this after all.
If that is your wish.
I think it's more than my wish at this point. I think that is part of my purpose, part of why I'm here. So.
And I wish you luck in that.
Thank you.
Although I do hope you may take some creative or editorial liberties with certain actions of certain traveling companions.
Zendros kind of ponders for a moment, like, I'll keep it in mind.
We are a rather motley assortment. I think that word does not even do us justice.
No. No, not really.
It for you guys?
Yeah, Zendros kind of just keeping watch. Got one of his hands on his Kopush at this point. Just
as part of her time on watch, Azalin will be using her bow and firing off divine lances from her bow as like target practice at trees, which it's not doing anything when it hits the trees but it's just, she's practicing target, and that's not something you ever saw her do before.
Just firing off literally just describe the divine lances to us. How do you flavor your divine lances, Aslan?
It will. There'll be a little bit of variance based on the type of the part of her deity that she invokes. When she's using more lawful orientation, the hellish flames that make up the arrow are all very well shaped and managed to form into something resembling an arrow, but very orderly.
Okay.
But then some, when she fires off, there's a bit more to the flame. The flames themselves seem a bit larger, but also seem to make something of like malevolent faces within them. Hellish, the hellish visages dancing in the flames as they fly to the target.
Metal as fuck. I love it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
hell yeah.
That's kind of what Aslan, does. Is this metal? Let's do it.
Yeah, literally beat the shit out of a fucking troll with her hands while they're on fire. Yeah.
Zendros probably recognizes the spell, obviously, but is like, that's a different way of... It's a different use of it than I'm used to seeing.
Right.
reflects the source that it is called from. Your source is not my source. The source will be different.
So, Aslan, will you be staying up for the remainder of the night as well?
Yeah, she has no. I mean,
Okay.
she has no reason not to.
Sure.
But she's basically going to let the other two kind of handle the watch primarily, and just kind of
be social.
be social or continue her training.
Fair enough. Okay, so Zendros, eventually your watch is up, and you head back inside the yurt, and you wake up Pax and Fef. You two kind of head outside, and you find Azalin out there, just, firing off her divine lance arrows into the darkness, as it were, using...
Well, I'm hobbling out.
Yeah. True. That's true.
How long do we have to keep you tied up for again?
Until you don't have to worry about me changing in the middle of the night and murdering everyone, or attempting to. Or we figure out a solution.
Real difficult for you in the coming week.
Yeah.
So, Fef and Pax, give me perception checks real quick. And Aslan, you can as well if you would like, but I know you're also mostly focusing on the archery.
I'll give her a roll anyway. You can just say she's at a higher difficulty or something.
You didn't roll very well either. Anyways. So.
Oh, there we go.
So, Fef, you with the dark vision are able to kind of, again, in the same vein as Maha and Aslan both when they took their shifts. You kind of you get this general sense of just nature around you and just kind of avoiding your general area. Pax,
That feels about correct.
as you're keeping watch and whatnot, Pax, and as you're sitting there in your bound by your ropes, while you normally you're unable to see much past the light, and you really can't see much past the light as it is. But you find yourself able to smell very acutely. The point where you are able to detect when a family of deer walks by within 30 feet of the camp, without seeing them because you smell the scent of them. And it makes your stomach grumble in ways that you aren't comfortable with. And while these new sensations, this new sense is making you uncomfortable, you are reminded deep at your core that you are amongst friends. And you are amongst people that you trust and who trust you. Artemis is not happy with the fireworks, by the way. And
Yeah, I've been starting to hear some of them outside of the apartment too. Like not super close, but occasional pops.
people apparently
Yeah,
like
they
2
were
blocks
shooting off
down have been
some.
setting them off.
Yeah, they were setting them off yesterday, kind of like to the left of Speedway a little bit. Yeah.
But yeah, so that does kind of put you in a serene sort of way, Pax, but you are also very acutely aware that you are able to smell things that you have not been able to smell before. You may interact as you wish.
Sort of looking back and forth between, the light show and our tied up friend trying to figure out what even the hell to say.
It's a bit of surreal. Yeah. It's definitely surreal. If there is any interaction, I should say. But I'm not going to force you guys to...
I want to, but I'm drawing a blank. It's so fucking, such a weird situation. There's nowhere to grab hold.
No, that's fair.
FF.
Yes.
If I change and attack you guys, and worst comes to worst, can you make sure the letters in my backpack get back to my parents?
I can do that, yes.
Thank you. I'm kind of scared.
I'm actually writing this in my notes, 1 sec. I mean, on the plus side, if we can at least bring you down if it happens without having to stop you all the way, you might be able to get dragged back there and learn some shit over some time.
Suppose that's possible.
I mean, it's better than the alternative. We're getting real heavy for last watch today.
I mean, it might be better, but I wouldn't be able to travel with you guys. I wouldn't be able to go home. I'd be by myself in a town surrounded by werewolves who don't know me and probably don't care about me as the outsider.
Well, I mean, yeah, you start off as the outsider, and then you stop being outsiders. That's exactly what we're trying to do with my family right now, even. Besides, just because they don't leave doesn't mean you couldn't. Like, the important thing is you learn how to control the shit if you need to, like they do. Beyond that, they're not, like, you are not sworn allegiance to this king.
Unless that's the condition for training me.
Oh, we'll take care of that if that happens.
All right.
I say this to you as the current standing representation or representative of my clan.
Anything else?
No, Pax has aired out his concerns for the moment.
That's fair. In the background, thump, 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 from the holy lances hitting the trees. And it is before too long that you guys are waking up the rest of the party. There is no sunlight really let you know what kind of day it is. It is very, again, dark and twilight-y. You hack the yurt up. Very easy to do because it's a magical yurt. Fucking hell.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it like literally there's like a strap you pull on the outside that folds it up or something like that?
Yeah. So you roll it on up, and you get on your way. And it takes you about 4 or 5 hours or so. And you are... As you're going along the road, no one really around, you begin to see it glowing in front of you. Through the trees.
Are we able to see if it's like a single point of light, like a single torch, or just
It's
a
a...
general?
You're not able to tell exactly what it is, but it is a large glow.
Could be the town. This would be
Like orange light, white
Mhm.
light.
okay. All right. Could be the town. Has been roughly half a day's travel to get here. Between the bit we did yesterday and what we've done since waking.
How far away is it, you said?
You're just seeing the glow through the trees. Not entirely sure how far away it is. But you have begun to realize that it is not pure black ahead of you.
Right. I assume this is also in the direction of following the road.
Yes.
Like straight to it. Okay.
Yes.
We may be approaching the town then. The fact that there is still light, if this is the town, would mean that not everything has been snuffed out.
Or it's been occupied.
Quite possibly.
I mean, the king did say a scouting party hadn't returned or sent word either, so we should probably be really cautious.
Yeah. Good to send some scouts. Looking specifically at Pax and Fef when he says that, of course.
Yeah.
Suppose that'd be for the best. May as well treat this as though likely hostile territory. If this is still occupied but no word has been sent back, that's probably a safe assumption.
You two go see what you can, bring back information to us, and we'll be able to make better judgment calls from there.
Okay.
All right. Pax and Feth, give me stealth checks.
I would like to specify that I'm starting off crossbow out and loaded.
Okay.
Chains out, but I am also actually going to use that since I saw one of the things Fef took.
You mean?
Hey.
Follow the expert.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Because Fef is actually, in terms of in-character stuff, Fef is better at stealth than I am, even if I have the same level of training.
Yeah, and Fef took Expert Drill Sergeant,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
following the expert gives bonuses when following Fef in actions.
That's true. And Feth is an expert in stealth, so. Okay. So make a stealth check and you get the.
Oof.
Yeah, but you also get. You can add your level as a proficiency bonus to the associated skill check. So you get +5 to that. So you come out at a 20. If I'm reading
Wait,
that
no.
correctly.
I think it says add your level of proficiency even if you're untrained.
Yeah.
But then you also gain a bonus based on the ally's proficiency. So with Fef being a master, that's another +2.
He's an
Or
expert.
expert is a +2.
Yeah.
Master would be a +3. But
So
expert
22
+2.
then.
It's a +3.
He
actually,
gets,
because
a
of the
plus
thing.
3.
+3.
Yeah,
Okay.
because of Expert Drill Sergeant.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, still, that's not terrible at all. So, Pax and Fef, you guys stealth, doing your best to remain quiet. Kind of start to edge your way through the woods, and as you get further along the road, you discover the source of the light is. It becomes very obvious very quickly. As you come across the village of Dushshade, you realize that the light that you saw was the embers of formerly burning buildings. The wall that had been built around the town, you discover a large portion of the wall has been blown inwards. And the town inside is raised. As you get closer, you see bodies littering the ground. In various states of decay. The smell is, I assure you, absolutely awful.
So this has been here a few days at least.
Yes. That is, you're able to wager that fairly certain.
Oh no, this is going to be especially bad for me.
Oh yes, no, you are very much not a fan of what you are smelling.
Yeah, thanks for them heightened senses.
But yeah, it gets to be a real bad time. Can confirm.
I kind of want to look around a little bit before we head back, but the idea of getting potentially ambushed in an unfamiliar territory with our friends waiting for us kind of tells me not to.
Yeah, that sounds like a bad idea. Let's go back now.
So yeah, we'll shimmy our way back to the party.
Okay. You guys head on back to where the party is waiting for you.
Stealthily, by the way.
Yes, of course. And that was implied. You know what? That's fair. I'll allow. You didn't need to, but I know you've been wanting to roll stealth checks, so.
I just love that we've gone this long without either rogue just needing to be sneaky.
Yeah. So
We're
you
very
guys,
upfront about our business.
Yeah,
Sorry,
a lot of our stuff has been pretty above board.
Yeah,
A lot of it, not all of it, but
a lot of it. Yeah. So you sneak on back to the party and describe the scene that you saw to the party, and
Everything was on fire. Everybody's still dead.
See, at first I questioned why you said still, and then I became very thankful that they were still dead.
I know what I said.
Ah,
I'm gonna assume that Maha's going to have just a very quick glance to Sendros and on Pack saying just I know what I said, just no, that's fair.
Zendros just shrugs. I mean,
It is what it is.
yeah. I mean, I can't help it, but it is what it is.
We wanted to look around more, but corpses and fire meant we want everybody else there too, just in case whatever caused that hasn't left.
it's not to approach with caution, though.
Suppose an extra body around wouldn't hurt. I'm gonna go ahead and summon Glinthatook.
okay.
If there is anyone alive, there's probably already enough panic that seeing a dragon will be the least of their worries. But if there's anything threatening, I'd rather have you around to help us right away.
Understandable and agreeable.
Let's make our way, shall we?
Yeah, I'm gonna draw my sword as we go.
So we're all going to be weapons out.
I'm assuming so. So you
Yeah,
guys
I think that's the plan.
are led along by Pax and Fef to the village. Come across the same scene of destruction that I have already described. And as you begin to kind of get into the city proper, past the city walls now, into the city proper, which I'm assuming you guys would go into now that you are a full group.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to want to actually get in and look around.
Yeah, there are... It's a slaughterhouse of a sort. There are bodies that have been torn up. Everyone give me perception checks, in fact.
I would also like to roll medicine for potential cause of death on some of the people. If I can see, not specifically, but natural or weapon or
That
whatever.
Effectively that would replace your perception check.
Oh, never mind. Keep my perception then.
I'm bundling both of those into
Okay.
one roll, basically.
Yeah. With perception.
Aslan and Fef.
Yes.
Perception. Okay. So, as you guys are walking through the village, you are, as a group, able to kind of deduce that some of these people have been crushed to death. Others have been entirely bisected entirely, in a very clean manner. And others have been just absolutely ripped and torn to shreds. Some of these stone buildings that you pass look like a tornado has come through. Entire buildings just utterly decimated, some with just chunks taken out of them, and just destruction on another level that you haven't seen before. And at some point, as you're going through the village, you discover a lot of these bodies are in the same states of decomposing. Their skin has turned black and have begun to liquefy. And at some point you encounter a section of bodies that is less decomposed. They are not quite as blackened. They're not quite as gelatinous as the others that you've passed. They're a little more put together. Interesting note, none of them are lycanthrope bodies. They are humans. They are elves, halflings, tieflings. There's a leshy or two.
At first, I was going to say that I think we might have found our scouting party, but I very much think that is not the case now.
I would like to, for basically no reason whatsoever, throw out a detect magic cantrip.
Okay.
Which is heightened to 3rd level, so I learned the School of Magic for the highest level effect within the range.
Okay. You don't detect anything, actually.
That was largely basis, mostly paranoia.
That's fair.
Speaking of paranoia, Fef is going to be eyeing the wall, like the hole in the wall we came through, like crossbow at the ready.
No, that's fair.
This does not feel right.
I suppose if it requires another perception check, but are the trees like in and around the town, are they all like intact, or have any of them been like broken apart or uprooted or
A
burned or
lot
anything?
of them are intact. Some of them, however, you do notice have been straight up just knocked down, which has added to the destruction of several buildings. Some of them have just been like almost crunched in a way. Blunt force impact, I think would be the best way to describe it.
Okay. And as far as you said that like the bodies in this particular area of the town are like in less state of decay, but
Yeah, there's about 5 of them that are at less state of decay.
okay. And you said none of those are lycanthropes. What would we have to make another roll for like seeing their manner of death?
Sure. And I will say, none of the bodies that you've encountered have been lycanthropes that you can tell. Not even just these fresher ones.
Okay, I guess another question. The scouting party that we had fought the other day when the one fell and died, did he like revert back to a human form, or did he
Yes.
stay? Oh, okay.
Yes, he did.
Okay. I couldn't remember whether he like morphed back into like whatever
I didn't
race he was,
mention
or
it.
if he stayed lycanthrope.
I didn't mention it, is why you don't remember it. But yes, he
Okay.
did revert back to a human form.
Okay. All right. So these very well still could be them. Then it's just all right. But yeah. So would it be another like perception or medicine check to see like for the fresher bodies?
Sure, give me a medicine check, yeah.
Medicine. Okay.
Hey. Hey! Nicely done, Maha. And of course Pax too, but damn.
Damn the both of you.
Yeah, for real. The scouting party, the presumed, I should say, scouting party, has been, whereas they've been kind of shredded and torn at. They've been partially eaten. Large chunks of their bodies are missing. To the point where even some limbs are missing from like an arm or a leg. And this is kind of universal across all of them, even.
But these kind of wounds aren't consistent with the ones on the rest of the village, then.
There are some, but not as many.
I suppose just for our own peace of mind, do we see any remnants of the tabards that we saw in Croden? That all of the...
Some.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say if any of them have like anything that had their like 3-clawed symbol or whatever, that's still relatively intact. At
It's
least
kind
take
of hard
one
to
or two
tell
of
because
them.
it wasn't really an embroidered pattern. It was literally just like 3 slashes through a normal tabard.
Okay.
So it is kind of hard to tell.
Right. Okay.
But you find at least, I would say, one that do have the same, like, the symbolic slashes, I'd say.
Right.
That's fair.
Okay. Yeah, I think we should definitely take that as a sign of this, but this whatever got to these scouts, something wild and feral. But the rest of this village, gods only know what this is. I'd rather not stick here any longer than we need to. I don't know if there's many answers to be gleaned here, and frankly, I don't want to end up adding to the piles here.
I will say, by the way, you entered the town through a hole in the southeastern part of the wall. The southeastern section of the wall is where the hole that you entered through. There's
Yeah, you said
another.
it was like blown in.
Yeah, there's another section of the wall blown outwards on the western side of the wall.
I was gonna ask, do people look like they fell running in a particular direction?
When you first entered the town, they looked like they had been running towards the hole you had entered through. And then as you kind of got further away from that, it got a little more scattered and directionless.
Okay, so as we came in, it looked like people were heading towards where we had come in from.
Yes.
And then, like, where we are now here, it's just kind of people dead all over, no real directional heading.
Yep.
Just trying to scatter away.
The bodies that you had found near closer to the wall also, I will say, were armed and armored. And the bodies you find now all over are not.
Okay.
they were sending a force to try and stop whatever did this, and when that had no avail,
They saw this coming. At least well enough to attempt to send an armed response in order to deal with it. And then, when that armed response was defeated, the people inside were left to the mercy of whatever came at them. It turned into a panic.
Well, we have an idea what direction whoever did this went.
Yeah, I want to.
yeah, if I could actually, I kind of want to at least just get to. I'm considering going to the like exit wall and just seeing if there's anything to spot of like whatever the hell plowed through
Okay.
in that direction. Just kind of trying to follow that line.
Honestly, I'm actually sorry to interrupt, but I'm actually going to pursue an opposite line of thinking. I'd like to go back to where we came in, where the armed response had been headed towards. I want to see if any of them looked like they had managed to get into conflict, or if they had all just been blown away completely.
Okay, both of you give me perception checks. I'll do Maha's first, and then I'll do Lauren's after.
Huh?
Okay, that works out. Maha, you go to the exit wall, the western side of the wall, where it is very clear that whatever happened here, this was the exit. And you do see that, like, some trees have been knocked over, and some have straight up just been, like, only partially uprooted. As if they were just, like, shoved, basically. Not knocked over, but, like, there's a very clear, like, trail leading to the west, into the darkness. To the edge of your vision. Lorenz, you see very much so the signs of combat. There are some bodies here. They're formerly gleaming metal breastplates of just completely crunched in and concave, and others that seem to have been sheared, like something tore open their metal breastplates and their armor in general, and got at their insides.
And these are the ones that also have had like bites taken out of them at some point.
These have also, yeah.
Yeah. But that's also potentially wildlife. Hmm. But there's no non-human bodies around, or I mean, like non-humanoid races of this setting. They didn't manage to kill one of their attackers and leave its body where it is.
Not that you can tell.
Yeah, so like no other
Like, I guess. Yeah, I guess what I'd be asking for is if the attacking force was coming in this way, if there were any bodies facing the opposite way that also looked armed, armored, or dangerous. Basically, I'm trying to find if they managed to kill an attacker to see who their attackers were.
right.
Not that you can tell.
Okay. And then, yeah, coming back to the group with that information, I suppose. Just whatever hit here, they never even managed to stop. It was vicious and it was large, and I wouldn't even say, at this point, it almost feels animal. Not a concentrated force, because a concentrated force would have just exited out the front fucking door if it needed to.
Yeah, that is a point, by the way. The gate is entirely undisturbed.
Right. I suppose with the yeah, how you said that there's the wall sort of like blown in at the southeast and then blown out at the west. Is it basically like, can we see like debris from the wall? Does it go kind of in a straight line, or did it like go just in a different path at all, or is it
in
just
every direction? A starburst, basically.
okay?
But, I kind of get what he's asking you. Is it a straight line from entrance hole to exit hole?
Like if I were to try and like walk from where the whatever it was went in to where it came out on the other wall, does that also line up with where those other trees and everything were getting
Yes.
jostled? Like, could I? Okay, so
It is.
that
There's a distinct path.
This thing just like marched a straight fucking line basically through this city.
It's a little wibbly wobbly, but yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I mean deviations for stride and all that, but you can tell that it came in one side, exited out the other side, basically on the same path of trajectory, and hit the woods.
Mhm.
Is what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
damn near a force of nature.
Could I make like a survival or nature check to try to find any identifying tracks or marks in the ground that might help us figure out what it was?
Yes. Yes, you may.
I'm gonna go with survival. I think that's the
Yeah,
tracking
survival is the
roll.
most apt. Yes. Hey, not bad at all. Well, it is. There's a lot of footprints around from the just general nature of the town, the civilization that is here. You do notice amongst the normal footprints in the mud and whatnot of the grass being worn down to mud. What not many people would have known is you realize that as you're just looking for footprints, you realize you are standing in a footprint.
Oh,
Well, it was definitely something big.
And as once you notice it, you notice more of these large footprints that go from the entrance explosion or whatever happened at the southeastern part of the wall. Not in a straight line, but for the most part to the western part of the wall, and then on deeper into the deep vault beyond that.
It's almost like a giant just walked through here.
that is definitely disconcerting.
To be fair, it might not have been a giant, but it was something big.
I don't suppose there's anything identifying about those footprints, any kind of distinct shaping to them, or
Yeah, like
is
are
a
they humanoid looking?
It is a humanoid footprint.
okay. So not anything quite like beastly.
Right. You do
So
notice
giant within the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
I suppose then there would also be a question of with whatever giant having that path going in, is there also like accompanying footprints like on that path to the wall? Like if we follow along with the giant's footprints on the wall that came in, were there other like tracks following in that same kind of path?
give me a survival check.
I don't think I'm quite that well trained with it. I am not, but
Yeah, I'm not either. I would assist.
right. I'll try and suss this out, but
Hey, not bad though.
better than could be normally expected.
Yeah.
But-
So as you head out of the village to the southeast, and you are able to follow these large tracks in the mud and the dirt. You also see an additional set of tracks with it. I would say about yay size. And they are more animalistic. Let me see if I can get an image for you, actually. Yeah, that should work, actually. The prints that you see in the ground with outside of the village, with what you can tell, from what you can best guess, traveling with these large footprints, looks most like this. If you direct yourself to the text chat in.
Oh boy,
Oh boy,
that is.
I know what that is.
Thinks this thing had a pet.
Yeah, it looks like your footprints, TJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish there was an easy way for me to show chat, the stream, what I showed you guys, but there's not. So.
I think we're still left with following the exit path out of the west wall, because didn't the king say we had to solve the problem too?
I think we were just sent to find out what happened.
No, I do believe he said resolve it.
He wanted.
Even if he did not tell us to resolve it, eliminating such a large target might further ingratiate us to him.
It would certainly
And also-
be something that would go a ways to proving the dedication to this, but it is not without risk. We could simply turn back and deliver the news of what's happened, though I suppose that may not go enough lengths to appease things between the clan and his kingdom. Oh,
Especially since we'd only be able to tell him something big with an animal.
Yeah. No, I think as our collective career has shown, taking risk is it's a path forward.
just more business.
If we're going to draw from past experiences, Lorenz, you may want to check to make sure that your armor is secured.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. The moment Aslan says that, he laughs while also checking the straps on his armor and shit. I've got a little more something in my repertoire to deal with such large, intimidating creatures, but yes,
That's
perhaps
true. I
no
have seen how you
repeating
deal
what
with your
happened last
sister.
time. You have some experience now. We share a skill set of a sort.
I'm not gonna say it.
So I suppose there's something to be said about bullying versus bullying, but I also won't speak about your technique.
Wow. Also, by the way, for those who aren't at full health yet, don't forget to give yourselves another night's worth of natural healing from your
Yes, that's right. Thank you. I forgot all about that, actually.
the night before. So, that whole conversation aside, woo. I am going to assume you guys are going to be heading and following the path. You can.
I mean, yeah, it's been terribly subtle.
Right, it's a fairly easy path to follow. However, give me survival checks. That's right, TJ. Make a survival check when you're not on Roland anymore.
I don't want.
Not bad, Zendros.
Oh, Maha, that was almost a 20. So, Aslan really taking the lead here, as she kind of leads you guys along. Again, it's not a hard trail to follow. Maha and Lorenz, however, are completely hopeless when it comes to it, so there is that. But,
City slicker, born and raised.
Same.
yeah.
Lauren also has the added benefit of the added reason
Hold
of
on.
it's dark. His eyes aren't
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fef was literally born on a mountain and raised in a cave.
Oh,
Oh man.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy trucking and also sex for the purpose of reproduction?
Only with the lights off, as Lord intended.
Hold on. Again, there's no Judeo-Christianity in this setting. We don't...
As Father Fef intended.
Father Fef likes to watch. What the fuck are you talking about?
That's why he wants the lights off so they
exactly.
don't see him.
It's true.
That's true. Yeah, he wants the lights off so they don't.
It's true. Well, as you guys are following along, Aslan mostly leading you guys through the wood, through the forest, following this trail that you are following along. And how about we get to? I help you guys visualize.
Oh boy.
Feel free to place yourselves within. I would say
Also, I should have.
this is your
Linda do
opening
the
square.
token
I will say, in terms of like where you guys want to start.
I cannot seem to drag Glinthatuke's token out onto the map.
Oh, so allow me.
It would be out in front.
Yes. There you go, buddy.
Yeah, Aslan in this case will be one of the few times where she's up front.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I guess taking a back one behind Aslan.
Okay.
Close enough to like run forward into combat, but definitely like full on blind. Like
Also,
Aslan over tree roots.
Also, something I will go ahead and mention is that I'm not sure whether it was intentional or not, but stuff outside my vision radius is still visible, just very dim, which I believe it shouldn't be.
Yeah, I can actually.
Yeah, I can actually see like this entire map. It's just grayscale and very dark.
That's weird. Yeah, no, you guys should.
Same.
Right.
Weird. Weird.
Yeah, I noticed that I could still see some of the other fallen trees that were outside of the circle. I'm like, wait, hold on. So I had to stop myself from scrolling further up the map.
Yeah.
Like,
Same.
Yes.
I probably shouldn't see any of that.
Yeah, I thought I'd done this better. Shit.
I need to take a quick bathroom break myself while you figure this out.
Oh, that is fair.
Same, actually.
Oh, I bet I know what happened.
Yep, that did it.
There we go. Yeah. Okay. I had unfortunately had global illumination on, and I did not realize it.
Now, just a heads up, I can still see the fallen trees.
No, that there is at least one fallen tree you should be able to see.
I can see all
I mean,
of
I
them.
can see the entire map. I just can't see the tokens on it anymore.
Right. That's the important part.
Okay.
Letting you know, like, we can still see all the trees and whatever that dark blob is in the middle of the map and stuff like that.
Yes.
I can no longer see anybody else in the party, though.
Yes.
Okay.
Because
Yeah,
there's
it's
no
that.
light sources, and you don't have dark vision.
Right.
Speaking of which, I'm gonna light a torch.
Okay.
How does imprecise scent actually work?
You are aware of things within 30 feet of you. But that is about it.
You're aware of things within 30 feet of you. It's kind of assumed that traveling with your party, you've known their sense by now, so you have a vague idea of where they're at, so long as they're kind of close to you. But you can also use imprecise to, if a creature goes invisible, and you can roll perception to attempt to detect that creature, and despite not being able to pick it out visually, you can maybe get a vague idea of like where it's standing or in what direction it's heading based on its scent on the wind, for instance.
Okay.
It's mostly for detection where sight cannot be relied on, rather than and also picking up on things like, oh, you're walking into a town full of dead bodies. You catch the smell of the fact that they've been dead for a while, actually, long before you ever even see them, and stuff like that.
Okay.
All right. So Zendros lights up a torch, and you guys are able to see around you as
Yay!
described.
Not able to get the full darkness figured out.
I was able to get it actually figured out. Yes.
Okay, that I might have to refresh them because I can still see, or maybe that's just because of the way the.
You should still be able to see the map itself, but you shouldn't be able to see tokens on it anymore.
Okay, that's what it is. Got it. Right, because once you actually like see a spot on the map, it stays like silhouetted,
Yeah.
so that like it's like okay, you've seen this, so you know what it looks like.
You know what? I'll just reset the fog of war just to fucking.
All right, perfect.
Yep, that did it.
That actually is perfect then. Cool.
There you go.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, just to keep things consistent and like eliminate
Fair.
any metagame or anything.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you have followed the trail you have followed of broken trees and just internal like large footprints, and you have come here.
So, and I know that for like dark vision, like outside of like when it's fully dark, it's just seen in like sort of grayscale. But like, what does like this sort of like edge here, where like on the map is it like what does that kind of look like? Myself and Glib the Took.
Right. That is it looks like mud. Very deeply compacted mud. And dried grass around it.
Okay. Yeah, Maha is going to just kind of make note of that and try and just quietly say aside to the others of just, this is pretty well tracked here. This might very well be some kind of nest, space, hideout, something. This is tracked a lot to the point of being mud, not forest grass.
Yeah, I guess at that point, sword back out, knowing that we might be on the tail of something all over again.
Okay.
Yeah, my chain's been out since Corpse Town.
I mean, same with your crossbow.
Oh, that's fair. You aren't technically in combat right now, so you can go forward, but you hear something further ahead. a noise. You're not sure what it is, but you hear something just. Also,
I have found it.
excuse me. Sorry, that fucking noise hurt. Shit.
Yeah, Ma just. He may have found it.
Mm. Just gonna advance slowly, but keeping well within the bounds of the torchlight.
Yeah, keeping my Kopesh out as well.
And as you advance forward, you hear.
Can I start trying to avoid notice?
Yes, you may roll a stealth check to fuck off, effectively. Okay.
I'm gonna pay you a nat 20 to fuck off.
Like rolling a stealth check to fuck off is the most rogue mood.
Right? And you guys see just beyond the light of the torchlight, and those of you with dark vision especially are able to make out a shape ahead of you. Just shifting, and then suddenly raising, and raising, and raising. Stretching out to be about 17, 18 feet tall.
Two ways about it, we found it.
And that is where we will pick up next week.
Oh, huzzah.
Oh, fuck.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
You're in danger!
So we will begin next session next week, right here where we left off, with you guys just beginning combat. And that'll be fun.
In the word,
Yes.
fuck yeah, baby!
Hell yes.
Oh, boy.
To be continued indeed, Mofok. So this will be the end of the Pathfinder session. However, I will very likely be going. I'll take some downtime afterwards, but I'm probably going to start streaming some Yakuza 0 again. I've been doing the real estate minigame all day, and going through that off stream. But to focus more on Pathfinder, thank you everyone for coming out, and I'm glad. I hope all of you guys had fun, especially.
Yes.
As
Yes.
usual.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I finally did a cliffhanger ending. For that, look at me. Look at me. Who would?
Damn, look at that 40-month streak.
Yeah. Go fuck out here being the real OG. So I will be back momentarily with Yakuza 0. Thank you everyone for hanging out. Thank you, you guys, for being the best players I could fucking ask for. The VOD for this game will be up in about 24 hours-ish, due to my agreement with Twitch for being an affiliate. And until next time, stay good, neighborhood. We'll pick up next week with a hell of a fight on the party's hands.
Oh, yeah.